This is Australia behind bars.
This is really jail, like real jail.
This is a world where you're either blue...
Every day's a game of cat and mouse.
Calm down.
Zip it. Or you're green.
Jail is very confronting. You're a man with a number. You can't put a masquerade, you can't put a facade. You are who you are.
I've located a jailmate syringe. Can you comment on that?
From the first day behind bars...
There's nothing I like about jail.
...to the last.
All of these women get out at some point and you want them to come out better than what they came in.
That's some Shawshank redemption right there.
Tonight...
Didn't know what jail was like till now. It's not a good place, eh?
A father's sacrifice for his son.
He's kind of deliberately got arrested so he could come in and check on his son.
I just hate the place. Don't come back. I love my son. I'd do what any father would do.
Jail is not a place to show weakness.
You can sink or you can swim. If you sink in here in shark-infested waters.
A new inmate's desperate wait for a cell in a safer prison.
You can never let your guard down here.
And Nolene prepares herself for life on the outside.
It's scary.
Every day, on average, close to 200 men and women across the country will go to jail. In New South Wales, it costs $87,000 per inmate per year to keep them locked up. And for those employed to supervise them, well, it's not an easy gig.
Working in a prison is not for everyone. You've got to be a special sort of character to work in a prison. You have to be tough mentally. You see a lot that you probably shouldn't see.
Head of security at Wellington, David didn't become a corrections officer until he was 42.
You can be too young to work in this job. You do need a lot of life experience. You're dealing with sometimes the worst of society. So you've got to be able to think on your feet. You've got to be able to change in a heartbeat.
The flip side of the tough nuts Officer David deals with are the young offenders who arrive looking like scared rabbits.
It's my first time in here, and I don't want to ever come back again. I was scared, didn't know what to do, like, didn't know many people, didn't know nothing, like, didn't know what jail was like till now. But yeah, it's not a good place, eh?
This young inmate is in a state of shock that he's landed in jail.
When you see a young person wasting their life inside a correctional centre when they should be outside playing football with their mates and living their life, to me that's a bit upsetting.
David's not the only one worrying about the new inmate. The kid's father has committed a technical breach of an AVO to get arrested, just so he can see his son.
So, because your dad's made such an effort, I've got him up there in a cell. I'm going to let you have a yarn to him for about 15 minutes. All right? So we'll go up there, but you'll have to wear a mask when you're talking to him, all right? It was a real shock to the young bloke when he came into jail, and he struggled when he first came in. So his father deliberately got arrested so he could come in and check on his son. So he's gone above and beyond, so I've allowed for him to have a 15-minute visit just as a welfare type check so that they both know that they're okay. So I've got your son up here to talk to you. You made a fair effort to talk to him, so you're going to have 15 minutes.
I just hate the place. Don't come back. Yeah, well, you should have just rung me up, you madman. You did ring me, you freaking upset all the time. Yeah, because, like, I just didn't know what to do, like, didn't know nothing. Just didn't know what to do, eh? Yeah. So now you know what to do, you don't come back? Yeah.
He's thrown away a lot to come back in and help his son, and it would have been hard for him to do it, but hopefully it'll jolt the son enough that he won't re-offend and he'll stay outside, and if that's the case, then it's worthwhile and it's a good outcome.
It's hard to do what I did, but I did it because I love my son a great deal. I'd do what any father would do. If you get out, put your head up, don't come back here, you know? Yeah, no, yeah. They said to me that like I could go for bail again, so I put in for bail and they got me bail. I just need an address. Look after his child. He's just got a newborn baby. So, yeah, just give him the heads up on everything positive instead of doing drugs and coming back in the same place like I'm over and over and over like my life.
So we'll have to wind it up, mate. Get you back up to Overhill, okay?
Loving it. See you. Hopefully you look this dressed. Yeah, really love you. Take care. Yeah. I don't know how to thank him, to be honest, for what he's done for me. Like, yeah, I can't thank him enough. When I get out of here, I'm gonna be a better man than what I was before I come in here.
All good?
Good kid. Really good kid. Just went down the wrong track, you know? And hopefully he's gonna wake up and just, yeah, pull his head and go down the right track and show his dad a bit, you know, a bit of respect, not to come back.
The Master Control Room at Silverwater Jail has 900 cameras monitoring around 1,500 inmates at the Metropolitan Remand and Reception Centre. Trouble can erupt without warning as prisoners detox, kick against the close confinement, or react to news from the outside world.
The war brewing between two rival crime groups erupting in gunfire last night on busy Bridge Street.
An act of violence in the community, the inmates usually know who the perps and the victims are. So if they're aligned to that person or that family group or that organised criminal network, they'll want reprisals. And if they know someone in their wing or in the wing next door is part of the other group, they will go out of their way to get to them.
And one such news story put every jail in the state on high alert.
Gangster Bilal Hamzi shot at least 5 times as he walked out of a Japanese restaurant with a female acquaintance. Bilal, the cousin of notorious Brothers for Life founder Basim Hamzi, died in hospital.
They watch it on the news, they know who it is, they know what it's about, and they kick it off straight away.
Corrections did separate the gang families involved in the outside shooting, but all prisons remained on high alert for payback attacks.
Violence in this centre is like most jails. It happens very quickly and it's very extreme. And that's why we have our own immediate action team, because once it kicks off, if you don't stop it, it gets out of hand very, very quickly.
This volatile environment at Silverwater is what greeted new arrival and first-timer Scott. He's in for a driving charge and is still waiting on a security classification. Until he gets one, Scott is mixing with hardened and violent criminals.
I'm in for 5.5 months. I'm in for driving while disqualified. Shouldn't have been driving. Yeah, I did the wrong thing. But there's fellas in here that haven't been sentenced yet, where I've been lucky enough to be sentenced.
If a court case is still in progress, offenders can be held on remand for several months. Scott is hoping his appointment with the classification team will be his ticket out of maximum security.
So what we're doing today is we're going to be giving him a security rating and a jail of classification. Good morning.
Morning, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Yes.
Coming up,
I don't like getting told what to do. I don't like getting told what to eat. I don't like getting told if I'm locked in for the day or I'm locked out for the day.
inmate Dave
Being a villain in real life, house.
reveals the truth about life behind bars.
You can sink or you can swim. If you sink in here in shark-infested waters, the sharks will get you.
And a volatile inmate is on the edge.
The verbal abuse from the inmates, we're not paid to take that. We're actually here to help. We're not against them.
Inmate Scott is a first-timer, sentenced for a string of driving offences. He's hoping his classification interview will mean a move to a low-security jail.
So what we're doing today is we're going to be giving him a security rating and a jail of classification. The highest is AA, which is usually for terrorism-related offences and national security. Then we go B for medium and C for minimum. It's your first time in custody?
Yeah.
Any drug and alcohol abuse?
No.
Not at all?
In the past, yeah. But,
Yeah?
No,
it's history.
Yeah.
Okay, so drugs and alcohol or just one of the other?
Both.
Both?
When I was in my early teens.
Yep.
But they don't do either one now.
Good.
I was a nurse before I came in here.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What happened?
Driving.
Okay.
That's why I lost my job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scott has a long history of driving offences dating back to 2005. And this time, the courts decided he should spend time behind bars.
When I got done, I lost that job because of me being locked up and criminal record. That really affected the job, so just automatically lost it now due to new rules and regulations, which makes it hard. I'd been in that job for 15 years and it really sucked, like losing it, but what can I do?
Scott wants to stay in Sydney, close to his family, but his fate lies in the hands of the New South Wales Corrections.
What we normally do as first-time inmates is we send you off to a camp to keep away from the hardheads and so you don't get any education in criminal ways.
Yep.
So Jerry and I make a recommendation and then it goes to one of our peers in classification who makes the ultimate decision. They're privy to a little bit more information than we are.
Hopefully it goes to plan. I can just go across the road.
Across the road is the Dawn Delois Minimum Security Jail. It's part of the Silverwater complex, but a whole world away from the remand centre where Scott is now.
If we recommended a jail that was totally full at the moment and there was no chance of any beds becoming available in the next couple of weeks, they might change the location of where he's going to go to somewhere where they actually have room.
For now, it's a waiting game for Scott as he tries to keep a low profile.
This morning we were overcrowded in here. There was 63 of us, now we're down to 40, which is good. In this pod, like 50 cells in this pod. I'm in a 2-out cell, and it's great. 3-out cell, well, you want to hope across all 3 is get along.
2 out and 3 out refers to how many inmates are locked into each cell room 18 hours a day.
Your days drag on. We have breakfast at 8, lunch at 11, and dinner at 2 in the afternoon. Back in the cell at 2:30. I've lost my house, lost my job, lost everything. I leave here, got to find a new place to live, a new job, and that's going to be hard now that I've got the record. Just want to try and make myself a better person for my kids when I get outside. Make it up to them. My boys are everything. Yep. Sorry. Yeah. Yep. They're my life. I love them. Like, they're all I got left. All I got left.
It's Visitors' Day at Dillwynia Correctional Centre, a day the inmates live for, and a day correctional staff are on high alert for the possibility of contraband being smuggled in.
So, processing the last one, we bring all of them in, all the visitors. Thank you.
The more time inmates can spend with their family and develop those connections, I think that makes a big difference for when they get out. If you don't have any contact with your family and you're in custody for a length of time and then you get out, how do you expect that relationship to be? It would be really hard. If you're connected to people, you're less likely to come back.
So it's a trade-off between the risk of drugs getting in and the benefit of inmates better integrating back into society when they get out.
Are you all together? All together.
Roughly 60% of female inmates are mothers, and they get one 40-minute visit a week if COVID permits.
So you know it's only the fist palm and elbow.
Hard.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's contact visit without mask, but still some restrictions imposed, which is a fist pump or elbow, and that's it. Oh, so you're aware of just the fist pump or the elbow pump?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. Hello, yeah. We've allowed in the past baby bottles, and the staff, they just have a quick whiff, make sure it's not alcohol or that sort of contraband. Brett, Giovanna, I just thought I'd let you know there's a baby with a bottle. I'll let the bottle in. I'll ask the staff to just smell the contents. It's baby formula.
This inmate came to jail when her baby was 5 weeks old.
Mother and father were requesting if they can also allow the inmate to hold the baby and feed it. Just have a quick cuddle, and then hand it over.
Thank you.
But I've allowed the formulas up there. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Inmates with small babies, it can be heartbreaking for them not being able to hold them, cuddle them. Okay.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I'm a parent and I put myself in their shoes, but they have to understand we have to comply with the instructions given to us.
It's been a tough time for the new mum and her parents who are taking care of the baby.
Yeah, well, it's very frustrating because the baby isn't getting contact with the mother and having her bond with the baby. And that's the hardest part because this baby is 10 months old and she's been in custody since the baby's been 5 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll grab it. Yeah. I just grabbed this bottle.
It's hard because all I want to do is pick up my son, but I'm not allowed. I'm allowed to hold him for 1 second. And that's sad because the last time I held him, he was 5 weeks old.
It upsets me when I see her cry because she can't touch a baby.
Did you go crazy?
What are you going to do? They're rules, that's the way you play the game.
Over at Wellington, all arrivals must do 2 weeks COVID quarantine in a segregation cell. They're also meant to be assessed by a justice health worker. But a returning inmate with a violent rap sheet has other ideas, and he has trashed his cell in protest.
Now I'm after IAT from Sierra 2.
Manager of security, Justin, is heading over to deal with him now.
People come to me and say, what's it like to work in a prison? My very first shift was quite daunting, but within a couple of shifts I actually found my feet and found that talking to the inmates, and I've got a bit of a gift for the gab, so I was able to talk to them and I've actually built up a really good rapport very quickly.
Yeah, I'll crack the door.
Justin has dealt with this inmate before.
It's all right. Listen. So, inmate's been in custody for about 4 or 5 days. He's refused access to justice health. The cell's absolutely filthy. I asked him that we need to move forward, one thing at a time.
Justin is taking no chances and has an immediate action team on standby if the inmate kicks off.
The verbal abuse from the inmates, we're not paid to take that. It's something that I really despise. We're actually here to help. We're not against them.
I don't want you living in this rubbish. There's some warm water. I'll get the power turned back on. I'll get you some fresh greens. I've got a very good rapport with him, so I'm hoping to get that positive outcome.
If the inmate doesn't clean up his cell and cooperate, then more drastic measures will have to be taken. At Wellington, manager of security Justin is dealing with an inmate who has trashed his cell and is refusing to see justice health.
So apparently he's started cleaning things up, which is a positive. So hopefully we'll be able to see about getting him some clean clothes and get him washed, and we'll move forward from there.
Time for another chat, but not without the immediate action team nearby and out of sight.
How you going? It's looking good.
Security from Scarlet Pod.
You all right for a chat? I know the inmate really well. He's been in and out of the system. I've built up a very good rapport with him. Oh, well, at least we're getting there. Do you need some other stuff, some hot water or anything?
No, I just got hot water there.
Yeah, righto. I'll be straight up with you, mate. Justice Health want 2 minutes of your time
just so they can say, how you going, and because you haven't spoken to them, and they just want to make sure you're okay. It's not going to be the long, drawn-out process. All right.
I've got issues, Chief. Not with the inmates, man. With you guys.
With us?
Yeah.
Why us?
Huh?
What issues?
No, all I've got a detective trying to knock me over.
So that's the police outside?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I know your story, I know your background, so what we'll do, clean up here. You've got to do more days for isolation anyway.
The inmate finally agrees to see a justice health worker.
I appreciate you doing this, all right? Right.
The number of unsentenced prisoners, or those on remand, has increased by 33% in the New South Wales correctional system since 2012. You can also be kept on remand if you've broken your bail conditions, like Silverwater inmate Dave.
I've done 10 months at Parklea, I got bail, I breached my bail, and I'm back in now. So it's sort of the same sentence.
Silverwater is Dave's home for the foreseeable future.
So basically, I got arrested, the handcuffs went on, and I come into prison, and basically everyone knew me in prison because I was in the media.
Bodybuilder.
Go David!
Stuntman. Amateur actor.
Troy will fall. You'll be home in a month.
And now an accused drug cook.
I've been charged with manufacture and supply of drugs, anabolic steroids. I am sorry for what I did. I'm heartbroken. I haven't spoken to my family, my mother and my father, since I was arrested. That was in 2019. And all because I was in the media, I was on the news and I was in the newspapers. It's just destroyed everything.
Dave's work as a stuntman and actor took him all over the world.
I worked overseas, mostly in Asia, India, the UK. My forte is weapons, fight scenes, car hits, car crashes, high force fire burns, and horse riding. And just my look and my size and my appearance. Basically, I'm always viewed as the villain, as the bad guy. Being a villain in real life is house, and it's depressing, but that's life. This is my new life. I'm here for 2 years, I'm here for 3 years, I'm here for 6 years. It's just walk in the pot and whatever happens, happens. It's hard for me and my partner too, because my partner, she's Chinese background, and she doesn't understand what's going on. She thinks we can basically just bribe the prison and I'm out like China, but it doesn't work like that.
Like any inmate, Dave has his struggles, but feels his stuntman background will stand him in good stead.
There's two ways, you can sink or you can swim. If you sink in here in shark-infested waters, the sharks will get you. And that basically keeps me in a mindset of being strong and motivated. Brain's already switched on. I'm in jail now. It's time to play chess, not checkers.
And with all that energy to burn, Dave's hoping his request for a work detail comes through soon. Inmate Scott is desperate to find out if he'll be getting a minimum security rating and a move to a safer prison.
Yeah, sweet. I don't know which cell he is. Yeah, he's down the bottom anyway. What's he doing? Is he just moving pods? Yeah, no, he's doing the lowest. Oh, he's going to dawn. Yeah. Yeah, you're on escort. Ready to go? All right, head straight to the cage.
Scott's C2 minimum security classification has come through and he's already packed to go.
Not burning in with Max and that now, which
I'm able
to breathe a bit more. Which, yeah, I'm glad.
Go. Straight down. This inmate's going to Dawn the Lowest, so it's on Silverwater Complex. He's leaving a remand centre and he's going over to a minimum security jail.
What's your min number? Just come round, see the nurse.
So he's coming out to reception where he hands over all his belongings and all his property. From there, it all gets bagged up and then he'll go to the holding cell and wait for the truck to come over, and then he'll be transported to his jail at Classo. MRC to Dillwynia is literally across the road, but obviously for safety and security, they have to be transported on the truck at all times.
You get 3 other boys, so be patient, alright? Thank you.
It'll literally go not even 20, 30 metres across the road to Dillwynia, which is the minimum security.
It may be only 30 metres away, but Scott is about to enter a whole different world.
Thank you. Go and see the officer there. So Dillwynia is a minimum security centre, and these inmates are mostly workers. So they could be working outside the centre on the complex, looking after the ground maintenance and all that, or they could be on work release program, which is like they go out, work at different industries, and it is basically a pathway for them to adopt to a normal life once they get released.
Coming over here, it's pretty relaxed. Like you're able to walk in, just do your own thing, and not having to worry about watching your back so much. Like you get let out at 7 o'clock in the morning, get put back in at 6 at night, which is good. Freely to walk around the yards whenever. You get a bit more free time to yourself, which is great. Like gives you time to set out and work out what you want to do when you get out of here. Well, I've got 3.5 months to go until I get out, and when I get out, well, it's time to start a whole new life.
72% of female inmates have been in jail before. For Indigenous women like Nolene, that number is even higher at 87%. This time, Nolene fully embraced the 12-week intensive drug and alcohol treatment program, IDAPT.
I let the ice walk into my home and I never let it leave.
The program helped her deal with a traumatic past and gave her tools to deal with the future.
So I think you're going to have the skills to teach your son so that he can break that cycle.
Yeah. So much lighter. You instantly feel like you just dropped a necklace of bricks.
Nolene has served 8 months in jail for assaulting her mother. If the interview with her parole officer John goes well today, she will be free to reunite with her 11-year-old son and serve the rest of her sentence in the community under supervision.
I've worked in this role for over 41 years. I'm amazed at people's life story, why they're here. I get motivated by them.
Somebody else has to take over. I've got a GO.
When a person is in custody here, that's a lot of time in a cell by yourself to reflect upon your life. Where are they going? Where have they come from? It's only when they come to that understanding, then there is hope that they may not return to custody.
Okay. Here we go, finally.
The day has arrived.
Yeah.
Now, you've done a lot of work in here, haven't you? How'd you find that?
It was great.
Right.
Yeah, it just teaches you what led us to drug and alcohol, and to map it out and put it on boards and then speak about it in a classroom was something I wasn't keen on doing.
Yeah.
But they got me.
Yeah, I heard that you're a little bit slow to start.
I had my walls really high up and I wouldn't let anybody pull them down. But eventually the facilitators, do what they do best, and they got me.
That's
so
good, yeah.
I was really pleased, yeah.
So what's your biggest fear when you get out?
Not being able to be there the way my son needs me. So failing him is a big fear, letting him down again. Because the last few years has been tough on the both of us due to drug use and being homeless and unemployed, and which leads to crime, and then it's inevitable you're coming back.
See, drugs and alcohol are part of the problem for you coming back in this time. So how are you going to handle that? That's a big issue, isn't it?
Well, that's why I've also got parole there too, so I'm going to speak to them just about how to work around maintaining my AOD free and sobriety. I can't change other people, and I can't change what they think of me, but I can change what I do. I don't want my son walking through my door doing what I did to my mum. Even though, he'll probably have resentment, hold a lot of anger there towards me, which is understandably, but if it's going to take me for the rest of his life to try and heal that and change that, I'll do whatever I can while I can to help him change his view.
Yes, this is your release papers.
John is liking what he's hearing from Nolene and approves her release to spend the final 10 months of her sentence on parole.
Just signed, okay? I'll get you to sign there, thanks.
It's real, it's happening, wow.
It's happening, it's Saturday.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It is, but it's more settling, like, yeah.
Life on the outside is full of temptations, but this time Nolene is determined to choose a different life.
So alcohol's everywhere, ice is everywhere.
Doesn't matter where you go.
Doesn't matter where you go.
There's a pub on every corner, there's a dealer at every pub, so...
And you can pick them and they can pick you.
I know, yeah. But it's just about willpower and, yeah, having the strength and either choosing the crack or having my son.
Take
no
care.
worries.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you.
Travel well. She has learnt a lot. She knows what's happening. Her motivation, I think, will be good. She's got it going well, and I think she will make it. The decision lies in her hands to stay out or to come back.
Over in Silverwater, it's just another day on the tools for the tradies behind bars.
6 o'clock, 6 a.m, because we've got so much to do, we sort of get an early start to the day. So by 6:30, we're on the job and ready to go.
Silverwater is undergoing a major extension to house an extra 400 inmates by the end of 2021.
We're utilising the inmate skills. A lot of the inmates who come in have trade backgrounds. We have welders, electricians, plumbers, so we utilise their skills, and as you can see, they're doing a terrific job.
This renovation will make it Australia's biggest remand centre.
So yeah, all the cells have been repainted, all the cell doors are getting sanded back to bare metal and then resprayed. Yeah, the whole lot's been done. The ceiling out here has been done, so it'll be like brand new cells when it's all done.
They show a lot of leadership. If you give them responsibilities, you know, we have certain leading hands. They show leadership. They're very proud of the work they do.
The tradies would usually earn $70 an hour on the outside. But on the inside, they're earning up to the princely sum of $70 a week for the same work.
I'm a tradie. I've got 20 years experience in roof plumbing, so it gives me an opportunity to do work in here. It makes the day go fast. It gives us really something to do. Yeah, it's good to come to work, and it's good to have the opportunity to be here just to do something that makes the day go faster.
For them, I think it gives them a sense of ownership. It gives them a purpose, you know. They've done the wrong thing, and, you know, we're not here to judge them on what they've done. We're here to manage them. And, you know, so the incentive's up to them how they want to work, you know.
Another inmate whose hands will no longer be idle is inmate Dave. He's pretty happy to have just landed a coveted sweeper job.
Fellow sweepers, they see you're hardworking, they see you're motivated, they see you're driven, they see you're persistent, and they basically say to the guards, we want him as the next sweeper. The sweepers basically allocated me the jobs, and the guards said yes, and that's how I got the job. Just grabbing the milks.
Officers generally deal with the sweepers a lot more. You know, if there's any problems in the pod, so like if there's any inmates that need extra linen, extra food, or if they're missing stuff from their cells, they go liaise with the sweepers, and then the sweepers can, you know, give them extra linen or food or soap or any hygiene. Locked in for 18 hours a day, it sucks. So getting out early and doing this, it's definitely a cool job to have.
And this is all we do. We give out the cereal and the milks, and we give out hot water because a lot of the boys don't have kettles in the cell, so they can make their cup of coffees and make their cereal. Boys, good morning. So today's lunch is a chicken pack and yogurt. The diet in prison is basically meal 1 is rice bubbles, meal 2 is a sandwich, and meal 3 is a hot dinner. That's why basically we rely on buy-ups. This is my buy-up, Serena tunas. Tuna's important. If you eat bread, you're going to become a fat fuck. If you eat tuna, you're going to be lean and mean. Red kidney beans, corn. I basically get a fried rice or a pasta, microwave it, throw this in, and that's what I eat throughout the day. I don't really eat the jail meals.
Even though Dave is not a fan of jail food, it does provide daily protein requirements.
So this is what I'm living off: canned food, preservatives. Most likely I'll get cans Fat 40. My friends, they put in $100 a week, and basically I get $100 of buy-ups.
The sweeper job keeps Dave busy for 2 to 3 hours a day, leaving plenty of time to train.
Everyone gets head miles in jail. That's depression and that's anxiety. So that's why you got to stay strong. That's why you got to stay in a routine. That's why you got to train. I'm trying to stay lean and mean in jail just to stay fit, so when I get out I can continue my career. Today I'm going to do some shadow boxing, some kickboxing, some sit-ups, some squats. And this is how I basically stay in the mode and stay focused and positive and motivated to get through my time in jail.
And when Dave leaves jail next time, he's determined not to make the same mistakes in life again.
We don't deserve sympathy, but we do deserve a second chance. And that's what I hope I get from my family, and I hope I get that from my friends and the people around me. I still want to get married, I still want to have kids. I hope this isn't going to be a big burden in my life.
Nolene has spent 8 months at Dillwynia. She's heading out on parole today with a new perspective on what the future holds.
Wow, I can't believe the day's finally come. I'm walking out these gates very soon, and it's scary because I've only lived in life the last 6 years on drugs. And that was something I chose over my child. I chose over my family. And that's not something easily to admit. That hurts. I'm walking out and I've got to try and forgive myself and tell myself what's done is done, and over time I will heal. But there's a process behind that. I can't just click my fingers and wish for all that to happen. Rome wasn't built in a day, neither was the China Wall.
Nolene has been assigned a Services and Programs Officer, or SAPO, who will make sure the right services and programs are provided to her on release. This will hopefully reduce the risk of reoffending.
I really hope she doesn't come back to custody and really just thrives in her new life with her son.
But along with the fresh hope for the future comes the sadness of farewelling familiarity and friends.
This has been my home for the last 8 months, and it's been something that I call mine. So this cell isn't a cell, it's been my home, it's been my safe haven. It's been, yeah, it's been a lot to me.
All your stuff, no? Hurry up.
I know. I've got one more bag with the linen.
Oh, do you want me to help you take it down?
Yeah, and I got the pillow as well. I've got to take that back or they're going to send me back. I know. See you, girls.
Is yours time served or you got parole? Or?
Parole.
Don't f*** up then, mate.
Nah.
Otherwise you will be back.
Nah.
It's all right, we got it. We got your back, girl.
Love you. Love you too. You're a beautiful girl and you need to know that, okay? You need to stop being so hard on yourself.
Go away.
Fine, please.
Oh. Take care, okay? Yeah. Look after Christy.
You just make sure you look after you. I will. You and your boy, okay?
Yeah. Thanks for everything, Phil. You're annoying, but I love you.
Yeah.
And again. All right, I love you.
Love you. Bye.
See ya. See ya. I've spent more time in my life getting my brain cells up, getting my health up, damaging it, intoxicating it. So it's going to take me twice as long to get all that back and healthy. but I'm willing to give it my best shot.
You get to know inmates and you can see sometimes, unfortunately, some that will come back. Some will actually say, oh, I'll be back, and that's disheartening. That can be disheartening.
Take care, sis. All the best.
But, you know, I like to think that they've got a really good shot, that we've given them the skills that they need to make it out there and to, you know, be better people than when they came in.
Okay, there'd you get out of jail free card. Don't lose it. It's finally over, so I'm glad. Freedom, here I come. Thank you. I've had 8 long months to think about what I did. It's time to put the hard work to the test and get out there and do what I'm made to do.
Tonight.
I've located a jailmate syringe. Can you comment on that?
No, I don't know anything about it. I'll just grab
The inmates can deny,
Display your feet.
but the new body scanners don't lie.
Look at your package.
A much-anticipated video call
Hi, Mum. Hi, Mum.
goes wrong for Brittany.
It's the worst. It's the first visit my younger son wanted to be in the video and I'm missing it.
And what it's like living in the boneyard.
I was set on by 4 other girls. I am still very broken, but I'm getting there.
Australia's 43,000 jail inmates are there because they broke the rules. Once inside, these rule breakers are faced with more rules. And they're not always keen to follow them.
We do cop a fair bit of abuse as officers. It's something you just get used to.
I don't care what the guards think. I don't care if that's their chosen job or that's their dream job. I don't care at the end of the day.
Calm down.
They'll spit at us, they'll threaten our families.
I've been punched, kicked, choked.
For me, it's pretty simple. You can't take it to heart and you can't take it home.
The good news is prison environments are changing as more emphasis is placed on inmate training, rehabilitation and rewards for good behaviour.
How you travelling, all right? Yeah, good. All right, you can't carry on like that, you know that, don't you?
Yeah, I understand.
Communication between officers and inmates is different too.
When I joined the job, if I spoke to an inmate, I was pulled aside quite quickly by other staff and said, you just don't do that. You're putting the inmate at risk because if he gets seen by the other inmates talking to you, there'll be consequences.
Back in the day, it was green against blue, like you never spoke to the officers, but now it's more about officers talking to us and we talking to them and sorting stuff out, which is a better way to deal with it.
Hello, how are you? So we're just going to move you to the MPU. Communication's very important because us communicating with the inmates can be the difference between diffusing a situation or elevating a situation.
If an inmate's not getting respect from an officer, he's not going to show respect back. Respect makes the world go round in here.
At the end of the day, if you treat someone like they're a dog, they're going to bite you.
While a grudging respect can develop between officers and inmates, there is still a hierarchy. And in the eyes of many in green, the lowest of the low are those placed in the protection wing, also known as the boneyard.
Who wants to do their jail in protection, you know? Like, it's not a place where you'd want to be. Like, there's got kitty fiddlers, sex pests, like everything in there. So, yeah, I wouldn't want to do my jail in the boneyard.
Senior Officer Dave has worked at Dillwynia for 16 years. He's the man in charge of the High Needs, or Protection Unit.
All right, girls.
These inmates are separated from every other inmate in the jail. They're a mixture of sex offenders, crimes against children. It's not completely filled with that category of inmate. It does have other inmates there that have had issues with other inmates. They've been threatened or have a history, perhaps on the outside, and so we have to keep them isolated in a separate, it's like a jail within a jail.
If the protection inmates aren't housed in this fenced-off wing, they're likely to be assaulted by other inmates for their crimes.
For example, if they have to go to the clinic or if they have to be interviewed by someone, they always have to be escorted by other officers so that no other inmates can mingle with them. Hey! Everything all right? These girls are the ones that live in K, right? They're very...
Best house?
Yes, best house in the jail, I've been told. Any in the house?
No, it's all good.
No. Huh? All good?
Love.
Good, good. I'm happy.
Just don't move anybody else in.
If you have a look, you've got a fence that goes around all of High Needs. I believe it was put here a few years ago to keep the protection inmates away from anyone else.
Protection inmates are limited to 1 hour outside their compound, if they dare.
In that 1 hour that these particular inmates have to have exercise on the compound, a lot of them won't even leave the area. When these particular girls exercise, every other inmate can see them. So to avoid any yelling and screaming from other inmates, calling them particular offensive names, they tend not to even want to be exposed to that. So a lot of them don't even leave the area.
Yes.
Obviously, I'm privy to knowing exactly what they've done. And it can be challenging because when you know what they've done and you've got to try to maintain a professional stance, it can be a bit difficult, especially with certain crimes. I try not to let emotions kick in that much, or else I'll struggle. So I just try to push that knowledge of their crimes to the side and just maintain a professional focus. If I don't do that, it'd make my job extremely difficult. Go on, out you get.
Thank you.
All right, lock it up.
Like many jails across the country, Wellington officers wage a constant battle to uncover inmates with contraband.
We've got intel handed down to us that there's 7 target cells in Charlie Pod, which may contain a number of items of contraband ranging from bupe to jailmate syringes.
The immediate action team may know they have it, but inmates are clever at hiding it, often concealing illegal items in a body cavity.
Place your hands on your head for me, mate.
But the officers now have a new weapon, a full body scanner.
We just scan every single inmate here, just make sure they don't have any contraband on them. Like sometimes they just swallow it, sometimes they put feet in their ass. So just like a proper X-ray machine, you scan all the internal organs, you can see if they secrete anything in their body. They're like a balloon or a rectangle or a square shape, because you don't have any organs in those shapes in our body.
X-raying is a less intrusive way of checking for contraband than the usual strip searches.
Game changer. It's good, real good.
Yeah.
It's stopped a fair bit so far, I reckon. Yeah, it's good.
Inmates can safely be scanned up to 150 times in a year.
Good, sweet.
This time, all the suspects have come up clean.
Nothing on them guys, but we'll go down and do the cells and might get lucky. So, fingers crossed.
Back to a more traditional search for Officer Aaron and his team.
So there's intel to suggest this inmate possibly has a syringe, possibly has some bupe in here too, so we'll have a poke around, see what we can find.
They haven't found a syringe, but this slip of paper with names and dollar amounts beside them indicates their target may be a drug dealer. Coming up, the search intensifies.
I've located the jailmate syringe.
And the reluctant protection inmate
I was set on by 4 other girls.
tells what it's like to live in a jail within a jail.
I am still very broken. Sorry. Upsetting.
7 a.m. in the protection unit. Officer Dave's first job is to make sure everyone who should be there is still there.
So every morning we do a muster. They'll be waiting at their doors. Call the muster, get a response, make sure everyone's alive and well. And we're accounting for all our inmates.
It's a job Dave does every day with his heart in his mouth. He only breathes out when all are accounted for.
One of the toughest days I've had on the job was going into into that unit to do the musters, and we were missing one. And I opened up that cell and I knew straight away that she was gone, passed away in her sleep.
All deaths are investigated by the police and the coroner. That inmate died of natural causes.
It's just part of the job, I suppose. You know, people pass away, but you just don't expect it.
All inmates in what is officially called the Special Management Area Protection, or SMAP, are accounted for. They can mix freely with each other, but are kept separate from the rest of the prison population for their own protection. Vanessa is here because she was bashed in the main prison some months ago.
After muster one morning, I went to the laundry to put my clothes in the washing machine, and I went back into my room and I was set on by 4 other girls. And due to my injuries and what had taken place that morning, I was placed into SMAP for my own protection. At first, I wasn't happy about it, but at the end of the day, me walking out of here is my priority.
Vanessa is doing time for fraud. She's also done time for passing bad checks, stealing a car, shoplifting, and escaping lawful custody. She's the first to admit she hasn't learnt from her mistakes.
This would be my 5th big sentence that I've done. I've been coming to jail since I was 24. I'm now 48. Not every day smooth sailing in here.
That first jail sentence as a naive 24-year-old was to be Vanessa's undoing.
I came to jail and I'd never touched drugs. I walked out of jail my first sentence and I had a drug problem. I was introduced to heroin and I liked it. It numbed me. I didn't have to think, I didn't have to feel anything. And for 10 to 15 years after that, it was just a roller coaster, in and out of jail, in and out of jail.
Vanessa's been clean of her heroin habit for 12 years, but has somehow found herself back in jail.
The hardest part for me this time around is I had my life together and I had a great support network, I had a great marriage. I've lost everything. Sorry. It's a bit upsetting. Obviously, my husband just couldn't wait or didn't want to wait. He was going through stuff himself and then I was put in jail. So he was left on his own and he met someone else. Everything that was part of my life for the past 11 years with him, I've just had to walk away from. It just broke me.
Vanessa has a lot of repair work to do with her 4 children. The only family member to visit in the last 12 months is her son.
I am still very broken, but I'm getting there. You know, like I'm, sorry, it's upsetting. I am getting there, I'm getting better. I don't think of things as much. I'm starting fresh when I get out. I have to put the past behind me.
Back at Wellington, the X-ray results from the new body scanner showed the inmates suspected of dealing in contraband had neither swallowed anything nor placed a drug package between their butt cheeks. But a cell search found a tiny bit of paper that speaks volumes.
Well, I found a couple of bits of paper with names and money amounts that might suggest that the inmate resides in here is dealing. So he either owes or someone owes him. Been in the job about 6 years. I actually wanted to be a police officer when I grew up because I had an uncle that was a police officer and so heard a lot of his stories and saw him coming home with his police dog and thought that's pretty cool. Yeah, prior to coming into the job, I was baker, pastry cook by trade. Did that for about 10 years at a local bakery and then come out here as a baker, working as an overseer in the bakery, and then did that for about 3 years and then transferred over to custodial work.
It no longer surprises Aaron the lengths inmates will go to hide their drugs.
Be a syringe usually hidden in the in the lining. So if you drag your finger, you run the risk of getting pricked. If you just pad along, you might find something odd. Yeah. Probably the best way to describe working inside a correctional centre is probably 90% boredom, 10% action. It could be nothing could happen all day, nothing could happen on weeks on end, and then one day everything's going on. It can go from 0 to 100 very quickly without you knowing about it, and that's that 10% that keeps you busy. It's all part of the game. Like, we're never going to stop it. It's all just an adult version of hide and seek, really. They hide it, we find it, we go again next week. Sometimes they win, sometimes we win. This is the last one.
Last one.
Did you boys get anything?
That piece of paper with names on it seemed like a good find, but the searchers come up with nothing.
Doing target searches with IAT and then coming out empty-handed, it sucks, for lack of a better word. It is what it is sometimes. Maybe they've just outsmarted us today, but tomorrow we'll get them.
Coming up,
This is a really good find for us. These are pretty serious drugs.
persistence pays off.
We can see an object. Could be a package.
At Dillwynia, inmates under protection spend 23 out of 24 hours a day in their compound.
High needs FM security.
But Officer Dave is trying something a bit different to make life a little more bearable. He's sending his protection inmates off to work.
Master and head check completed. 53, sir.
You have to make sure all the other inmates are locked away. That's the main danger. No other inmates can mingle with them if the other inmates are on the compound.
Before the protection inmates can access the common jail ground, Dave's got to lock up all the inmates from medium and high security.
Then we'll secure that gate, and then the SMAP inmates, they'll be allowed out onto the compound, and they'll be able to use all the exercise equipment, the common room, and just be able to get a little bit more sunshine and exercise the yard. And by not being locked in for 23 hours out of 24, there's less tension. Having 20 odd girls locked in the same house can be a bit tense at times.
It's only been running for a few weeks, but Dave's new initiative is working.
I think this new routine's good. Everyone seems to be getting on a lot better because people aren't living on top of each other, and it makes us, we're just like the rest of the jail. We go out in the morning and go to work. We have jobs. You either go to tech and assembly or you do ground maintenance like me, which I quite like. It's nice to be out in the sun and out of the unit and get some fresh air and, you know, doing something and looking around and seeing that you've made that change.
And there's more change for Vanessa just around the corner.
I have 12 weeks left. It's come up very quickly, actually, and there's a lot running through my mind. I haven't been there for my kids, and it's something I'm ashamed of. So when I get out, obviously I want to spend more time with my children and be there and be a mum. It's a fresh start. It's not going to be easy, I know that, but I'm up for it. That's all I can do.
A few days ago, the immediate action team raided CPOD based on some intel they had. But they came away empty-handed.
If the intel's strong enough and we know something's there, we'll come back every day of the week if we have to.
While the inmates are out of their cells exercising, the immediate action team heads back into the same pod. This time, Officer Stewart is leading the team.
The intel manager's been watching one of the fellas for the last couple of days, so it's the whole reason behind this targeted search today. He is well known for distributing drugs throughout the jail, and it's believed that he could have gotten a drop through visits a couple of weeks ago. Jump out the back, mate. Jump out the back. I'm just checking the lock up underneath here. There's a bit of a well. They could be hiding stuff up underneath there. There's nothing in that. You sort of need to conduct a thorough search, especially if the intel's strong. Previously, we've found contraband jammed up underneath these grills, underneath the doors. We've actually found needles and jail-made weapons. We will find where they're hiding stuff and we'll keep targeting that. They'll start to cotton on and go, they're onto us, they know where we're hiding it, and then it's up to them to find another place to hide it.
It's the second big cell search in less than a week, and still nothing.
We can spend anywhere from an hour to an hour and a half in a cell. So it is a kick in the guts, walking away with nothing.
But then, inside the lining of a jumper.
So I've located what appears to be 3 small orange strips of butte inside of the jacket pocket, wrapped up in a sugar packet. Yeah, so this is a common drug that basically what they do is they either shoot it up with a jail-made syringe or they can smoke it. Looking at those, it's these two here, you're probably looking at around about 50 to $100 a piece. This is a really good find for us. It is a pretty serious drug, so if you shoot too much of it up, you can OD on it, which could result in you dying.
Finally, a win for the immediate action team. And there could be more. The inmate in the next cell is now under suspicion. Officer Stewart wants some answers now.
Place your hands on your head for me, mate. Well, I'm about to caution you, understand. I'm about to ask you certain questions. What I understand is you're not obliged to say anything. Whatever you do say, maybe is evidence, you understand?
The immediate action team has been targeting CPOT following intel about drugs in jail.
Place your hands on your head for me, mate.
After hitting dead ends for days, it looks like they've finally hit the jackpot.
I've located what appears to be a jail-made syringe. Can you comment on that?
No, I don't know anything about it. I just grabbed the pen. And...
This pen was on your person?
Yep.
For the purpose of the camera, what I've located it appears to be a jail-made syringe with a needle cap. I'll now secure the jail-made syringe in a sharps container. Is there anything else you can tell me about this jail-made syringe that was located on your person?
No, I just grabbed the pen to write a number down on the phone just then, before I come in with you.
You understand you'll get charged for this?
Yeah.
He's pulled out a blue pen, and while searching the pen, I've located the top of the syringe poking out. So the syringe was basically hiding inside the pen tube. Yeah, so we'll secure that now, and the inmate will be charged for being in possession of a jail-made syringe. Place your hands behind your back for me.
On the way to the dry cell, Officer Stewart also puts the inmate through the body scanner.
Jump up for us. You can go straight in.
It looks like Officer Stewart's suspicions are about to pay off.
We can see an object, we're just not sure of what the object is at this stage. Could be a package.
So last time that we played you...
You might have won the football match,
We won
but
the footy.
I won the text message competition.
Anyway, we'll see.
We'll see. Monday we'll tell.
I'm Kath. I'm a prison officer. I've been doing this for 35 years. I believe I'm one of the longest serving officers at Dillwynia. Where's retirement? It's got to be soon.
We're still undefeated, by the way.
I don't care. I don't care about your team, mate. I only worry about mine. And mine's the one who wears red and green.
Officer Kath knows every square centimetre of this prison, and one guess which rugby league team she follows.
Can't help myself. I'm a tragic South supporter.
She could talk underwater with a mouthful of marbles about the Rabbitohs.
I just remind you, Matt, get it right. How many premierships? How many? How many have you got?
2. 2 good ones, too.
What does that shirt over there say? Oh, that's right, 21. I win.
I'm not just an officer. I have got other things happening in my life. And I think You know, as much as some people don't like my office, I love it, and the inmates actually enjoy it. I supervise all the industries that we've got here in the centre. I enjoy working with the inmates. I have a close interaction with them. Challenges is you can't please everybody.
I'm going to the laundry and the kitchen. They come under my jurisdiction, so it's important that I go and touch base, see how the girls are going. Hi guys, just visiting.
Corrective Services Industries has over 100 commercial business units manned by prisoners. From laundry to textile and furniture making, the inmates are paid up to $70 for a 30-hour week.
How we going, girls? Any issues? Anything you want to talk about while I'm here? Something you need to get prepared for? Hopefully not this Monday. The following Monday we'll start washing emu plains linen.
That mean we'll get pay rise?
No, you're on the maximum now. I'm telling you up front, I wouldn't have paid you the max now because there's no room for you to grow. But the officers are nicer than me that they've given it to you from the start. So when you get busier, I've got no leeway now. So it's unfortunate, but you're on the max. This laundry was purposely built. It's going to cover all the women's facilities. So we'll be washing for Dillwynia, which is what we do now. It will be doing emu plains and it'll be doing Silverwater women's. On average, we'll be doing probably 1,500 to 2,000 kilos per week. That's 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. So we're also going to try and introduce laundry operations as a training course for the girls so they can get that skill base that'll help them gain employment, you know, upon release if they're interested in going down the laundry field.
When I see an inmate come back, sometimes I feel a little bit deflated. But at the end of the day, from an industry's perspective and my role, I've got to give these girls the skills as much as we can to try and get out. We can do traineeships while they're here, we can do short education courses. We provide that opportunity for them. So, you know, it's one of those things that they come back, but I want to give them those skills. I want to give them that employment.
Because they're doing a good job. So just keep working hard. But sorry, no pay rises this week.
Whilst conducting a regulation strip search, you removed a blue pen and a piece of paper from your pocket. Is that correct?
Yes.
Back in Wellington, Officer Stewart has found a jail-made syringe on an inmate.
Can you comment on that?
No, I don't know anything about it.
The inmate was body scanned.
Take a wide stance, step on the conveyor belt.
And Officer Stewart's hunch is right.
Could be a package. Could be. What we're doing is we're identifying features of the body and we're just looking for anomalies. So, for instance, his watch, your bones sort of show up green and so does your watch as well. We can see an object, we're just not sure of what the object is at this stage.
It's only been a few minutes since the first body scan, but Officer Stewart is bringing the inmate back for the second.
So I'm going to put him back through the scanner, but I'll face him the other way, and then it'll clear things up for us. Same deal. Wide stance, lay your feet. Because we've got a syringe off this inmate, it could be another syringe that he's secreted. I reckon he's got another one.
Yeah.
I reckon he's pushed it right up. So basically, this is the anomaly that we've located. So I'm going to say that he does have contraband secreted up his buttocks. The item in the first scan seems to be lower. So this is a first scan, this is a second scan. He has pushed it up higher. So if you have a look on the first original scan, it's down low. The second scan, he's actually pushed it up higher.
The inmate will remain in a dry cell until he agrees to hand the item over.
The wing that we've been targeting over the last few weeks is very well known to have jail-made syringes and weapons. It is one of our problem wings, and it's good to get in there and actually get the stuff out. So, yeah, this is a massive win.
My favourite afternoon of the week, we're going to issue buy-ups. We'll have the whole centre up here. It'll take us roughly an hour and a half to distribute it. 10 now, please. Come on, Jared, let's go.
Buy-ups. It's the closest thing the inmates will get to a supermarket inside jail. They can spend up to $100, about a week and a half's wage, on snacks, pre-packaged meals, personal goods, even a TV.
Without buy-ups, they'll go insane because they live for this week to week. Where you living?
I get about $50 a week working in buy-ups, but my mum and my sisters and all that, they put money in as well. So most of it goes on food, but the rest of it goes on phone credit.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Everyone looks forward to Thursday. It's the one thing, other than visits, that the girls look forward to a week.
But if the inmates aren't following the rules, there'll be no buy-ups today.
No, unfortunately, it's got to be an ID card or not at all. That's the rules. We'll be here till 3:45, give or take. You've got plenty of time to get back.
No ID, no buy-ups. No filling the order form incorrectly, same result.
Didn't fill your form in right. Oh, really? Yep, unfortunately, that's how it goes. No, mate, the system's done. We scan once a week and once a week only, so I can't change that.
Megan, you're next.
Sorry. They don't fill it in, they don't get a buy, which is unfortunate, but I can't change the system.
I'm gonna stop. Okay. Sorry.
So they get a bit upset, but they get over it. Bottom line is they can spend more next week. Love your work.
Thank you.
Thank you for shopping at Dillwynia, Ma.
Next door, Nurse Miriam and her Justice Health team are getting ready for the pill parade.
Thank you.
Each morning we could see anything from 80 to 110 patients who come for their issued medications that have been prescribed.
There you go.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Inmates are never given a full packet of medication. They only get their daily dose at the same time each day.
A lot of these patients have multi-complex trauma from their childhood, and a lot of them before coming into custody don't access good quality health care. So a lot of their issues are actually diagnosed in custody.
One such inmate who has just had her diagnosis changed is Brittany.
I've got 4 children. I had my firstborn when I was 14 years old.
I'm missing it all. I never thought I'd end up in here.
She's serving 3 years and 9 months for getting caught up in a kidnapping. Her time here in therapy has brought her to the realisation that attitude might not be the only source of her problems.
I've been in here for 4 months now, and in the last few weeks they've just re-diagnosed me with ADHD, and I'm only just being put on new medication now, so I'm still not on the full dose that I will be.
So, going to have a chat because the doctor changed your medication recently, yeah?
Yeah.
How do you feel?
So I feel better, you know.
Brittany came into custody really quite unwell, and she actually came in and was diagnosed with ADHD, which she didn't know she had. And I think for Brittany it was a light bulb moment because all those ADD symptoms that frustrated her, the moment she got that diagnosis and she was told that's okay, that's what ADD is, resonated with her, and she just lit up. From what I've seen from you doctors in the community, you haven't had that diagnosis before.
I do relate to that diagnosis a lot more than, say, the bipolar.
Yeah. She's now medicated, she's focused, she's enrolled in IDAPT, which is really quite intensive. She's had no outbursts, her eyes are bright, she's picking up her medications every day. She can identify when she's feeling a little bit off, and she can identify when the medication is doing the right things for her.
Yeah.
You've gone up to psychology and had a chat to them?
Yeah, I was with them yesterday.
Yeah, nice. All right. I can't remember when the doctor wanted to review you again. He might have said 2 weeks, he might have said 2 months. I can have a look and I can let you know.
Yeah.
And then you and I can feed that back to him. How does that sound?
Yeah, right.
Yeah? And that's what we love. That's what we love, watching that evolution from someone who sometimes at the first couple of days they're a little bit hazy coming to custody because they're so unwell, to now seeing, oh my God, look at this, I'm enrolled in a program and I'm medicated and I feel good and I know when I'm good and I know when I'm off and I can identify that.
While Brittany is a long way off from being released, if she can get her mental health right, it will make her time behind bars easier.
When I first came in, I didn't know which way was right and, what was up or what was down. I was a mess. Yeah, and it wasn't just the confronting side of coming to jail that did it. It was the fact I was unmedicated, I wasn't, I wasn't right in the head. Yeah, I'm good now, I hope.
Even in jail, you can't charge someone with suspicion. But after weeks of persistent searching, corrections officers have found hard evidence of drugs in C-Pod.
Can you comment on that?
No, I don't know anything about it.
A forensic body scan revealed more contraband stashed internally.
I reckon he's got another one.
Yeah.
But the officers cannot forcibly remove it. They have to wait until the item passes in a dry cell toilet that has no running water, or until the inmate confesses.
So the inmate, when he was being fed earlier, he admitted to an officer that he did have an item and he was willing to hand it over. So we're back here now to see what that item is. I'm expecting to find another syringe. It could be drugs. It's hard to tell with the body scan, so we're just got to wait and see. You willing to give it up?
That's all it is.
What is it? Jamie. What's this for?
It's just wire. It's just what it is to be fit.
A fit is slang for a syringe.
That's all it is. It's just wire.
Why wouldn't you just hand this over?
I don't know. I put in my arse, so I'm not going to sit there and pull something out of my arse.
So the inmate's handed over what appears to be a motor, and he's just stated that he uses the wires for his syringes. Have you got anything else on you wish to declare? Because we're going to do another strip search, and we're going to...
The inmate broke the rules. Officer Stewart checks with the intel manager to see what punishment the governor is likely to impose.
So I've spoken to the intel manager. He has handed over an item. So he'll receive 56 days for the jailmate syringe, 56 days for the motor, so 112 days all up of all amenities, so televisions, buy-ups, activities, arts, hobbies, and off-contact visits.
The inmate who had hidden bupe, a heroin substitute, has also lost his privileges, as well as a lot of income from selling to other inmates.
We did get a win today. We got a syringe out of the jail, which is a big plus for us. It's a big positive. So yeah, we'll keep working on the intel and keep targeting.
I'm off to my AVL visit with my younger 3 children today.
AVL stands for Audio Visual Link. Inmates can now have family visits more often on screen.
It's been a few weeks. They couldn't get in last time. I was booked out. Pretty excited.
You can head straight on through.
Thank you.
It's benefiting everyone involved.
I think technologies where they can communicate more with their families, so video visits, tablets, things like that, I think they help, because if you're connected to people, you're less likely to come back.
So we're having some issues with the Wi-Fi today. They're upgrading some mobile phone towers near the jail. So unfortunately there's been some unhappy inmates.
Hopefully Brittany is not one of them.
Hello.
Hi, Mum. Hi, Mum. Hi, Mum.
Hi.
Can you see us now?
What happened? Oh wait, we're connecting again. Isn't it shitty signal today? Yeah, just disconnected now. It's saying it's connecting again. Hi.
My shirt.
Oh, you're actually in the video today. Put the computer screen down a little bit so I can see you better.
Technology not cooperating is going to get under anyone's skin.
Oh, there we go. They're back. Hi. Yeah, the Wi-Fi's a bit crappy in here today.
In the past, Brittany would have lost it, but she's keeping her cool.
I think I've heard about 5 whole words from them so far. Just freezes on their face. You hear a couple of words and then it cuts out and you just gotta wait for them to answer it again. It's the worst. And it's the first visit my younger son's actually been in the video and wanted to be in the video, and I'm missing it. Missing the whole thing.
Hi, Mom.
don't have the heart to hang up.
Miss you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss you.
Love you too, Mom.
I think it finished.
Not a great AVL visit with her kids, but a good outcome for how Brittany dealt with one of life's ups and downs.
It's upsetting when the video visits are like up like that, but since they have got me on proper medication and they are like addressing my mental health, like I'm not so agitated, I'm not so manic, I'm leveled now. It's easy to get through my days now, yeah.
Tonight,
she's real uneasy.
A jittery arrival to a max security wing.
She obviously fears for her safety. Maybe someone slipped her a note or something like that.
Using a metal detector to find a mobile phone.
The biggest eye-opener that I have learnt from this job is what they can put in there and what comes out.
How female inmates hide contraband.
Coffee mugs, fake nails and glue.
And
inmates are portrayed as this evil sort of characters. It's not true.
Wisdom gained from doing time.
You see a person for who they are. There's no fancy cars, there's no fancy homes. It's just you and the person in front of you.
The average prison sentence in Australia is 1 year, 6 weeks and 2.5 days. Mohammed is serving a 9-year term and is desperate to get reclassified as a minimum security prisoner so he can move to a jail closer to his mother.
My name's Mo, I'm 26 years old. This is the first time I've been incarcerated in prison. For the last 2 years I've been, the minority in here. At stages I've been the only Muslim in the pod.
I played my part in an armed robbery. I wasn't physically involved, however, I contrived in organising and planning, and I'm aware that my actions are reprehensible.
He's behaved himself inside and has progressed from a maximum to medium security rating.
I've been a sweeper for over a year. It's changed my jail time, that's for sure. And it's a job that everyone wants, well, nearly everyone. From the start of the day and start of the week, we'll just start cleaning up and get the pod nice and clean. Well, a sweeper is a privileged job, so we've got to be very sure and very careful what to do, because when you're a sweeper, you want to keep your job, a bit more freedom. Well, you want to keep your mullet?
Yeah, like a little bit. Yeah.
Mohammed is also the prison barber.
Yeah, some of my mates more than happy to give him a haircut, make him look half decent.
He's famous at Wellington for his haircuts.
5-star service. No, there's no payment at all. You give a good haircut to an inmate, one way or another he's going to return the favour. He's going to give you something.
You got a spare sheet or something?
They'll get that on air. We'll try to do everything we can in this place to feel normal. That's what we thrive for in here. So you see a lot of boys asking for haircuts on a weekly basis, and it just makes you feel good. It makes you feel good. They go in the cell, they look in the mirror, and they look normal, and makes the jail time easier.
The busier he is, the quicker time goes. But nothing stops the guilt Mohammed feels about disappointing his family.
I was born in Iran. My parents are from Iraq though, so they went through immense troubles to find freedom. My father was a prisoner in Iraq on death row by Saddam Hussein. So he went through monumental efforts to get us to this country. My parents went through all this trouble to get us to here and have a good life, and I've landed in prison.
His parents now want what Mohammed wants, a downgrade in his security rating so he can move to a prison closer to Sydney, where they will finally be able to visit him.
Numerous amount of times I put in an application and it's been rejected, so this time I'm going to try to give him adequate reasoning, and hopefully, and I really do hope so, that they will move me back to Sydney. It's been really hard for my family and friends to come for a visit, given the length of distance. So yeah, this application is crucial to me.
Just anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Beautiful.
At Dillwynia, Officer Vanessa is on duty for a rarely filmed lock-in day.
These wheels have a mind of its own.
For operational reasons, cell doors will remain locked for longer than usual for the safety of inmates and staff.
So we're just about to deliver all the lunches. It's a lock-in today, so we're going to have to self-deliver them with the sweepers' help. So on the menu today, we've got a Devon salad roll, dried fruit and yogurt tray, and your banana and your apple. Just drop them there.
The sweeper is the only inmate allowed out of her cell today.
The role of a sweeper, they are a more trusted inmate that has no non-associations with any other inmate in their unit, meaning that they can mix with other inmates without any altercation. All right. So all we're going to do now is just open all the hatches and evenly disperse all of the lunches. Can I just open the hatch for your lunch? Can I just put your lunch at the door then? Yeah. So the lunches are very important for the inmates, especially during a lock-in day, because unfortunately there's not much to do in there other than write letters to their family, watch a telly if they have one, and eat.
What do you want?
Your lunch, do you want it?
Yes.
Okay. Are you out of the shower yet?
Yeah, I'm in the towel.
Okay. I just treat all inmates equally, no matter what they've done. One could be in here for drink driving, another could be in here for murder, but I will equally treat them the same. I will respect them if they respect me back. I feel like you just have to talk to them like they're a normal human being. So this wing's a little bit less timid than the other side, so we always get a lot of yelling and screaming when we walk in here, as you can hear. I'll speak to them the same way they speak to me. As soon as they disrespect me, that's when I will up it. But I find it's easier to keep calm and collected, and that can help de-escalate a lot of situations. What's wrong? You need to stop yelling. It's not going to... I know. Well, it's not going to get you anywhere yelling, okay?
Miss, how about you tell the camera crew what jail's really like?
You can tell them what jail's really like if you want.
No, because I haven't had a shower.
Okay. Can't do your hair and your makeup quick enough?
Can you shut the door? I can have a shower.
I'm just a naturally happy person. It takes a lot for me to be down in the dumps. I do hear that on a regular basis, that I'm always so happy, like, Miss, why are you always so happy? Why are you always smiling?
I can see your feet.
Was that you yelling?
No, it's me. I'm back in the camera room.
If a situation gets quite elevated, I do have a different demeanour, but I feel like there's no point putting that into practice unless it's really necessary.
Thank you.
All good?
Yeah.
If the inmates decide to eat their buy-up food for the day, we do a hot water round, so the sweeper will take the hot water around. A lot of them have noodles in their cell and things like that, so they much prefer to dig into that stuff over the issued food.
And once her job is done,
pop you back in.
The sweeper is returned to her cell.
See you at dinner time.
Coming up,
she's real uneasy.
Vanessa deals with an inmate scared for her life.
She obviously fears for her safety. Maybe someone slipped her a note or something like that.
And
the biggest eye-opener that I have learnt from this job is what they can put in there and what comes out.
What prisoners want to keep hidden.
I've seen some funny things come out of those places. Coffee mugs.
Unit, Vanessa
It's
speaking.
the day after a lock-in day at Dillwynia's Max Security Wing.
Kelly, I don't know where she is.
And the inmates have energy to burn.
No. No. We've got girls in here for aggravated bodily harm, murder. We definitely have the worst of the worst in here. So if there's an officer out in the wing, as there is now, I will always be keeping an eye on her. And there's always 2 officers up here at any one time, if not more. So there's never an officer left on their own for safety reasons. It's just really important that we don't become complacent, because that's the time when we usually get the reality check and something happens. You always, need to be looking over your shoulder every single moment of the day.
A new inmate has caught Officer Vanessa's eye.
She's real uneasy. It's the first thing she said to me when she walked in. I said, "You all right?" She's like, "I'm really nervous." And I just said to the sweeper, like, "Look out for this one."
Protection,
Yeah. That inmate was moved here this morning and she's feeling really uneasy and really nervous. And yeah, they're currently moving her back down to the cells in the clinic by the looks of it.
The inmate is not saying why she's feeling uneasy, so Vanessa needs to check out her cell.
So this is the inmate cell that just moved in here today, who's currently down in the health centre, obviously getting another assessment to see if she should be moved out of here because she obviously fears for her safety. So I might just put some gloves on, have a look around and see if I can find any reason as to why she fears for her safety. Maybe someone slipped her a note or something like that. She's just got a list of her medication that she's on. But yeah, if someone's done something to her today or said something or slipped her something, it's best to find it now so that we know what's actually happened. But in all honesty, I feel like she's just really uneasy, just been in a cell on her own for a few nights, and now she's coming into a fully occupied wing. It is probably very daunting. I honestly don't think there's anything abnormal in her cell. I just believe that, yeah, she is pretty nervous and just wants to get out of here.
The inmate will be assessed by Justice Health, who will advise on the best course of action for her. Doing the rounds at Silverwater's protection wing today is Officer Dominic, all 6'7" of him.
Yeah, T block, can we get the middle door unlocked?
He wanted to be a cop, but became a corrections officer 3 years ago.
I've always been intrigued, like about prisons, about, crime, law. When I joined the academy and that, it just kept me, it was one of those jobs where I was just like, wow, I can't wait to, step foot into prison. I can't wait to see how it works.
Dominic found the 10-week officer training course fascinating, but it didn't prepare him for what lay ahead.
It's one of those jobs where you can get abused all day, and it does mentally drain you. And, you do walk out of here thinking, wow, like I've just literally been abused all day. So it does sometimes take a lot out of you.
What cell do you want to go?
From 264 to 261.
Jail's jail. So you've got your officers who wear blue, you've got your inmates that wear greens. You got to try stay ahead of them, and they're trying to stay ahead of you. You're not friends, you've got to be professional. Obviously they're inmates, they're here for a reason, we're here to uphold the law.
Staying one step ahead is the name of the game.
I've just been called down to T block, which is a protection pod. We've had reports of contraband getting thrown over the fence, so we're just going to go do a yard check prior to the inmates coming out to the yard.
Drugs, mobile phones, tobacco, lighters, even cooking spices have been known to get tossed into jail yards.
Today, obviously we didn't find anything in the yard, but you just got to keep on top of it every day and just make sure, we do perform our security checks because, the day you don't is the day there will be something in the yard.
Above all else, officers need to expect the unexpected.
I think it's a very important part in your career, standing your ground, because if you get stood over by an inmate, or you get put on show, or you don't react, or you don't, do anything about it, I personally think that can affect your whole career. Because if other people see that inmates, put it over you or abused you or threatened you and you don't do anything about it, in my opinion, you look weak. And it's not really a job where you want to look weak.
Just up the road, 25 new recruits are not worried yet about their reputations. They're just happy it's graduation day. Training has included offender management, weapons and officer survival skills. Former Youth Justice Officer Ben is under no illusion what his new career will be about.
I think empathy's a big one. Also, resilience, being able to sort of
have somebody abuse you one day and then help them out with something the next. I think it's big quality that you need. If you sort of are going to hold a grudge over something, then it's going to be a hard job for you.
Some of Ben's classmates will drop out only a few weeks into the job. Wayne is not planning on being one of them.
I've been working on the roads and I've got a small farm, so I've always been a labourer all my life. And late in life, the opportunity came up to apply for a job here. I think, yeah, don't be frightened to do it.
Both Ben and Wayne will be on probation for 24 months at the Wellington Correctional Centre.
I'm excited. It's something I am nervous about because I fully anticipate there's got to be a lot for me to take in, but at the same time I'm very excited about that.
When I grow up, I want to be the same thing as you.
Oh, you want to be the same thing as Dad?
Coming up...
All right, ladies, turn around and face me.
On the hunt for a hidden mobile phone.
Men will secrete things between their butt cheeks, but women are able to secrete things internally.
And Ben's first day on the job.
You always have your foot on the door because if you've got an aggressive inmate on the other side of that door and they kick it, your foot stops the brunt of it coming towards you. So I'd rather have a sore ankle than a busted face.
Four years into a 9-year sentence for his part in an armed robbery. Mohammed has recently applied again to be reclassified as a lower risk prisoner so he can move to a jail closer to his family in Sydney.
You can have as many boys as you want around you, but at the end of the day, your family is your best support network. For encouragement, a bit of hope, a bit of optimism.
Mohammed has been a model prisoner and has slowly worked his way down the security classification ratings. He started as A2, considered one of the highest security risks, second only to those charged for terrorism. He's now a B rating, or medium security, but needs manager of security Justin to give him a minimum classification.
I think he's one of your sweepers.
Yeah, he's a good sweeper. He's got good case notes.
Yeah.
Never puts a foot wrong.
Yeah, because he's put in for a compassionate transfer to Sydney and got somebody that's unwell in his family and he's asked for an early classification and they've actually recommended for him to progress again to a C1.
Officer Dave is pretty pleased that he will be the one to give Mohammed the good news.
He's one of the better inmates. He's here to do his time without any dramas with other inmates. He's got a sick family member and he needs to be closer to that family member and we can accommodate it. There's no reason why he can't go down there. Did you check for the newspaper?
Hang on a sec, I just got to talk to Mohammed. So, mate, your class has come back.
Yep.
Looks like you're going to Sydney.
Okay.
To be closer to your family, all right? So that's what you wanted?
Excellent,
Yep.
thank you.
All right,
Thank you very
so
much.
All the best, eh?
Thank you very much.
See ya.
You have any idea when I'm going to leave?
Probably Monday's train. All right?
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Righto.
Thank you. Yeah, very thrilled, absolutely thrilled. So first thing in the morning, I call my mother and my family and loved ones, I'll let them know. Hopefully to make their day and their week.
Keeping Contraband out of her jail is a never-ending battle for Senior Officer Lynn.
No sharps anywhere?
After nearly 20 years on the job, she's seen it all.
Men will secrete things between their butt cheeks, and that's as far as it goes. But women are able to secrete things internally. They call it the hairy handbag. It sounds a bit horrible when you know what it is, but that's what they call it.
It's hoped the introduction of full body scanners will reduce this age-old practice.
All right, ladies, thank you for your time.
The biggest eye-opener that I have learnt from this job is what they can put in there and what comes out.
Today, the target is a mobile phone.
We're heading down to the kitchen. We've got some inmates working in the kitchen. One of the girls that works down there is, they've just received a little bit of intel that she could be in possession of a mobile phone. So we'll take the cell sense down there. Hopefully we'll pick it up. Mobile phones in female centres aren't as common as in male centres. I don't know why that is, but it's important to keep them out because They can organise business from within the centre, and they can organise getting contraband in, etc., contrabanding for other people, and just basically running prohibited businesses outside the centre while they're still inside. The cell sensor we're using is a very ultra-sensitive metal detector, so it detects the metal parts within a mobile phone, and then that will actually detect it if it's been secreted internally as well as what's sitting on a person. So it's just pretty much a stronger one than you see at the airport.
Lynn is not surprised that one of the inmates may have a mobile phone hidden.
I've seen some funny things come out of those places. Coffee jars, coffee mugs, nails, like fake nails and glue. One girl I searched and she had fake nails and glue, and I'm like, why? And she said, I've got to do my nails for visits. I can't go to visits to my nails like this. And so she had a full set of fake nails and glue and nail polish. So some of it's not always harmful, you know, some of it's things that they just want. But yeah, interesting things. You know what, I get it. All right, girls, so I get you to head outside for me. Down this way, just follow the officer's directions, we'll take you outside. Legally, we can't do cavity searches. So surprise searches are essential. This way. If they know we're coming, they're obviously going to remove it and place it somewhere. So if we just surprise them all the time, we've just got a lot more chance of picking up contraband that they're carrying that they shouldn't have on them. All right, ladies, turn around and face me. We're actually going to do some cell sense searches, so some metal detector searches today. One at a time, we'll walk past the pole and then we'll get you to come back. So I'll get you to come over for me. We set the cell sensor up in an area. We then line the girls up and tell them that they have to walk slowly past the pole as close as they can without touching it. They walk about approximately a metre past, and they've got to turn around and come back. The same side. If it goes off, then we take any visible metal off them, we get them to remove it. Right, you ready? Give me your watch, because that'll indicate straight away. All right, okay. And then we get them to do it again, and then if there is another indication, then we'll have to do a complete strip search. Walk down past the pole, nice and close to the pole. You're going to take it nice and slow. All right, ladies, turn around and face me.
The immediate action team is searching for an illegal mobile phone.
Walk down past the pole, nice and close to the pole.
Inmates have been instructed to walk past a highly sensitive metal detector.
Do you have an underwire bra on at all?
Bra, yes.
Do you have an underwire in that bra?
Yeah.
One of the girls that indicated on the pole, because they wear underwire bras, sometimes the metal, that's how finely tuned it is, that will pick up on that. So she's just removing that, and then we'll run past her again.
If the inmate does have a mobile phone, she's likely to have time added to her sentence.
Girls, everybody up the other end for me. There you go. Come back on the same side. Easy. All right, good. Yeah, girls, so it will pick up on your underwire, but we will ask you to remove that, so you can't get away with it.
I'm wide left, baby.
No thanks. Don't want to know. Good news, we didn't find anything. Mobile phones being found on your person as an inmate is a very serious offence, so they will face court for that, and it will more than likely end up being extra time on their sentence. Back to work, behave.
No contraband found this time, but the immediate action team has other intel to investigate in another cell pod. Driving in for his first day as a probationary officer at Wellington, it's not surprising Ben is feeling a tad apprehensive.
Feeling a little bit nervous. Spent a lot of time training, but in a lot of ways this is where the training really begins. With the inmates, they're definitely going to know that I'm new. They're used to seeing certain people around all the time, so walking in with no stripes, they'll try and pull one over on me, but yeah, keep my head on a swivel and yeah.
Hi, Ben.
Hi.
His mentor is experienced officer India.
All right, we'll make our way through into the key watch and we'll go from there. That one's charged if you want that one.
45 52945.
So you're rostered in with security patrol today. What they do first is they'll go around and they'll do a head check of each cell. We're basically just checking that everyone's all right in that cell.
The theory that we learn to start off with is all background, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense until you put it into practice, and then it's like, oh, wow, that's what all those PowerPoints were all about.
So when they do a let go, you'll see that there's always 2 staff on a door. So one will operate the key and have their foot on the door, and the other person will then open the door once it's been unlocked. So you always have your foot on the door, because if you've got an aggressive inmate on the other side of that door and they kick it, your foot stops the brunt of it coming towards you. So I'd rather have a sore ankle than a busted face.
In training, they showed us, how this process happens and the reasons we do things the way we do. But yeah, it's definitely different to see it in the flesh. When you're first to open that door, it can be a little bit intimidating. Our training does prepare us very well for what we do here, but now that it's actually doing it for real, it all makes a lot more sense. It's just about really knuckling down on learning the routines, learning the procedures, and just becoming more comfortable with how everything operates.
Behind bars, privacy is almost a forgotten word. Even personal mail is heavily scrutinised.
We're reading the letters for any intel that could help us in regards to any breaches of security taking place. So we're information gathering as well as trying to prevent drug introduction into a centre. So it's quite tedious, and it's done on a daily basis.
And once a letter is read, it's not sent on in its original form.
Every piece of mail that comes into a correctional centre that is sent in for an inmate will go through the photocopying processes. So we will photocopy their envelopes and their letters and their photos, and we will then distribute them to them, and then we dispose of anything that's actually come in from the community to try and eliminate any introduction of drugs.
The main drug target at the moment are buprenorphine strips.
We actually have some pictures here of what they actually look like. So that's one side of the envelope where bupe strips were located. One of these strips, which is approximately that size, is worth about $600 within the correctional centre. So it's used as a currency. So that would be a value of $7,200 just in one envelope.
So far, today's batch of mail is clean, but Officer Renee is suspicious of this Polaroid photo.
These are interesting. A good way of concealing is to actually separate pages and put drugs in them and then put them back together. As you can see, the light's not coming through. They're quite thick, so I'm just feeling to see if there's anything that feels abnormal in the texture or the thickness of it. We're getting nothing. We're getting just total blackness. I'm going to attempt to open this to see if there's anything concealed in these things. So there's 3 layers in here. So if I break apart the layers, doesn't appear to be anything on that, but I'm still not able to get a clear indication as to whether there's anything abnormal in this photo.
Photos are the only mail passed on to inmates in their original form, but not this one.
So they will go back to the sender with an explanation as to why they've been sent back to them so they don't make that mistake again.
Coming up,
Leaving Wellington, it's going to be bittersweet.
a poignant farewell.
All right. Love you, brother.
And
I advise you to step forward and declare it to me now. I'll take that as a no.
the immediate action team won't take no as an answer.
Claire just found some gloves wrapped with some string.
It's a great day for me. I'm very happy from inside. It's been great.
Inmate Mohammed has some great news to share with his mum.
The application that I told you about, the early classification application, I put it in and it got approved. So good news, I'll be coming back to Sydney in the next 7 days. Yes, I can finally get to see you after 2 years. You gotta wait till I get moved, then you can book a visit.
Mohammad's mum has not been able to make the 5.5-hour drive to see him, but pretty soon he will be a lot closer.
Yes, I'll be packing my stuff in the next couple of days and they'll put me on the truck and I'll be in Sydney. It's a bit surreal. It's been a long time coming. I've been trying to get out of here the moment I got to here, so it's good for myself and good for everyone that's been supporting me whilst I've been in here and whilst I've been in jail.
He was going to take his time packing, but the move is sooner than Mohammad thought.
I was just informed by the correctional staff that I'll be leaving to Sydney tomorrow. You know, it's a bit of a late notice, but that's based on security purposes. They've given us 2 tubs. I've been here for 2 years, you know, it's impossible to... My clothes is only 1 tub and my property is 2 tubs, so all the rest I've got to somehow manage to fit them in. Family photos, valuable and essential. I'm ecstatic. It's a long time coming. I've anticipated this day for a long time. It just feels surreal, but I've got to sort of rush everything. They've given me half an hour to pack all my property. It's marginal time, so yeah, I haven't really actually processed it. I haven't comprehended it as of yet, but I'm very excited.
The 2 tubs with Mohammad's belongings must be under the 15-kilogram limit, although he's allowed a 3rd tub for legal material to do with his case.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. Finally.
So you got 15 kilos. What's that one going as? Got me? Yep. That's the heaviest one, won't it? A few cans in there. Should be right.
Sweet.
Oh, good. All righty. Closer to home?
Yeah, I'm from Sydney, so...
Yeah, mad.
Been waiting for this day for 700 days.
He may have been waiting for this transfer for a long time, but Mohammad is leaving behind friends he had not expected to make in jail.
Leaving Wellington, it's going to be bittersweet. I've been very fortunate that I can genuinely say that I've met some great people in here and friends for life. See you tomorrow, brother. Thank you for everything. They've guided me, they've supported me, they've mentored me, you know, it's been significant.
Hopefully I'll see you there.
There's no facade in here, you can't put a masquerade, you are who you are, we're all wearing greens. We're all the same, we're all going through similar hardships and you see a person for who they are. There's no fancy cars, there's no fancy homes, fancy clothing. It's just you and the person in front of you. And it's difficult to comprehend for people on the outside because it's stereotyped. The fact that inmates are portrayed as this evil sort of characters, it's not true.
Love you, man.
Love you too, my brother.
I'll call Mary.
I will. Georgie.
All right. Love you, brother.
Spoke to my family yesterday. Spoke to them this morning again and wish me luck on the journey and they're very excited to see me this week, God willing. Yeah, it's very important for my mother. You know, she's obviously going through a bit of hardship at the moment and it's perfect timing. She's been fasting for 30 days and not to be self-assertive, but I think it's the perfect present for her, for me to go closer to home in Sydney.
Security to M-Block. Yeah, can you advise when I can send an Alpha up for intake?
Yeah, clear up here.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you, Chief.
See ya.
I'm a bit nervous and anxious, to be honest. It's been 2 years that I haven't made any physical contact with anybody. No, my father doesn't cry either. My mother will be crying for sure. They're absolutely ecstatic that they're going to see me and vice versa. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm not going to be crying.
Regulation strip search, you got anything to declare? No sharps, no nothing on you?
After the strip search, it's a 5.5-hour drive to Sydney.
Okay, follow me.
Every single thing that I've done at Landmark Prison was motivated by greed. I wanted to be something more than what I was. I wanted to have a life of extravagance. I wanted to be something where I shouldn't have. My parents went through all this trouble to get us to here and have a good life, and I've unfortunately landed in prison.
they used to make the tampon.
A cell raid uncovers more inmate ingenuity.
They wrap syringes or drugs up and then secrete it like a tampon. And then obviously they can retrieve it with the string.
Back at Dillwynia, and the immediate action team has another piece of intel about illegal drugs coming into the jail.
One of the inmates came to me and told me that one of the girls had received a contraband drop from over the fence. I told Linny about it this morning and she's decided that we're going to go up in a minute and search all the inmates within that unit and the particular inmate's cell.
All inmate intel is taken seriously and investigated.
A few of them particularly like to maintain good relationships with staff members. If they get caught with something, they might get, in their mind, a bit of an easier punishment.
The other reasons could be just they don't like them and they want to give back at them or whatever. So it's a little bit of just a payback. Or they want to get them out of the unit that they're in, moved somewhere else, that's another reason. Or as Claire said, it could be that they think that they will get in less trouble if they actually give us some information, which that's really not up to us. That's up to someone of a higher pay level than us. Guys, just have a listen up. If you do have any items on your person or in your cell that you know about that you are not allowed to have, I advise you to step forward and place your hands on your head and declare it to me now. I'll take that as a no. Let's stay nice and quiet, and we're done as soon as we can.
Lynn is not expecting the pat search to come up with anything.
Step a little bit wider for me, a little bit wider and put your arms out to the side. A lot of girls are really good at holding that in there, and you can't see it, and it doesn't just fall out. Sometimes it does, but not often.
Which means cell searches are super important.
Actually, that's what they used to make the tampon. They do that and then they wrap it up around with this and then they stick it up there.
No drugs yet, but uncovering items used to conceal contraband is the next best thing.
Claire just found some gloves wrapped with some string, and some of the girls use like the tips of the gloves with the string and create like a makeshift tampon almost. They wrap syringes or drugs or other things up in it, in tissue and stuff like that, and then secrete it like a tampon. And then obviously they can retrieve it with the string.
Nothing can be proven by finding these items, but it does mean the inmate will be watched closely.
It's always good to not find something, but that doesn't mean that nothing's in here. It just means we haven't found the hidey holes, that's all. But it's part of your dynamic security though, doing your patrols and doing your searches and making them aware that we can come in at any time. So it's part of our job.
It's the 1 month anniversary for our new recruits.
No 2 days are the same. There's something new to learn every day, and it's things like that that's made this transition from me coming from youth justice. It's made me sure that I've made the right move.
Like the 25 in his cohort, Ben must pass all his on-the-job assessments during his 24-month probation period.
Your actual training doesn't really start until you graduate. It really is just a framework. So once you're on the ground and you're dealing with the inmates that aren't running to a training program, that have their own agenda, it's when you really start learning.
Yeah, so at Wellington we had a riot at East time last year. This was a get-up that everyone was in.
It's all about small little wins. You know, for instance, getting somebody who's normally quite abrupt or rude to officers, that you know they might make the decision to treat an officer with a bit more respect. You know, like a please or a thank you. It's all in the little wins, and that's where we make a difference. I should have done this years ago. I've really enjoyed my time here, and I can see that this is an organisation I'll be involved with for a long time.
Officer Wayne has also found a home at Wellington.
And from the other officers, you pick up little bits and pieces all the time.
You're always going to get some of the names wrong.
Yeah.
Some of the guys will obviously react differently.
Do it on purpose,
but even if you go, mate, I don't know what it is, can you tell us what it is? Yeah. But no, you did well.
Or somewhere near it. Yeah. At the end of the day, if something goes wrong, pear-shaped, they want to know that you've got their back and I want to know that they've got mine.
$77,000 children across the country have a parent in jail. For these dads at Wellington, being part of the Shine for Kids program has helped them stay connected to their little ones.
We're running story time at the moment. It's to connect the dads with their children and build that bond so that, you know, we're trying to stop recidivism.
Writing stories has helped inmate Daryl feel a part of his son's life.
Then one day, the volcano erupted and lava spewed out down and across the valley. My son, he loves dinosaurs and yeah, Miss always putting little activity days on for us to do things with our kids, which is, well, I'd rather be sitting here doing this than sitting in the yard doing anything else.
1 in 5 inmates have parents who are also incarcerated, and boys are much more likely to follow their father's footsteps than girls.
I've done a lot of jail, maybe 20 years in instalments. I'm 40. I've been coming in now since I was about 14. Becomes home. It's my safety net, in a sense. But when things get a bit hard outside, you just stuff up and come to jail. But now I've got a son, things are changing, yeah. My son's all my drive, my focus for when I get out, so yeah, I don't want him to go down this path, so it's time to, just take things one day at a time, you know?
That's what we're about, is letting the children know that they can still contact and talk to their parent. And then with the offender parents, it gives them the opportunity to give something back to their family.
That's why we signed up.
That's it. Is that what you think, you know, sort of
It's
story
all signed
time
up,
is?
yeah, 100%.
But when he sees how cool Dad is...
He'll be loving it, yeah.
Yeah, with dinosaurs.
And he loves dinosaurs, so...
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because they may have offended in our society, people shouldn't be branded for life. You know, people do get a chance to be rehabilitated.
Tonight, cornered by the immediate action team.
3 of us are going to enter through the rear yard and catch him by surprise.
But has the suspect swallowed the evidence?
You ought to put something in his pocket.
The drug smuggler.
I was promised $15,000 to receive this package. Turned out to be 20 kilos of ice.
On the road to redemption.
I want to be a full-time artist when I get out.
Plus,
pretty much been in our jail since I was 18.
Why do inmates keep coming back?
Once they are out, if they don't have a good support network, it can almost feel like you're setting them up to fail.
Hey, you. What are you doing, mate? Up, Chief.
63% of the prison population has been diagnosed with a mental health condition in their past. Some arrive off the streets in a highly volatile state and need to be secured in a safety cell at Silverwater's mental health screening unit. And the job of dealing with unstable, detoxing inmates belongs to Services and Programs Officer Rebecca.
I think being a woman in a men's prison has its advantages. We can provide a caring, sort of motherly, sisterly sort of role and gain that respect that a lot of men do have for their female family members.
Calm down. All right, we're leaving now. Calm down.
I love the fact that I come to work every day thinking that today could be the day that I might change someone's life, even in a small way.
And you'll be surprised to hear where Rebecca got her unique people skills.
I was a hairdresser for 13 years, so I always liked the social aspect of talking to people and listening to their issues. So I went back to study drug and alcohol and mental health. And then that's how I got into working in men's homeless refuges. Through that, I would hear so much about gaps in the system of when they're getting released from custody, the lack of support, and so I sort of thought that there could be more done probably in custody before they left. So then I looked into corrective services and in particular mental health.
The inmate is now calm, so Rebecca can find out how she can help.
Did you send that email for me?
Yeah, I haven't heard back from them.
I haven't heard back from them. That's all right. Now, listen, the other thing is I wanted to see Dr. Power today.
Yeah?
He's refusing to see me.
No, I think after lunch.
It is a tough job, it's very challenging, but it's also very rewarding. A lot of these guys have come from, you know, a lot of trauma in their life, in their childhood, and often, you know, they just want someone to listen to them.
So you're getting out in September? Okay, so well, if you put in a referral...
Often we hear things like, thank you, miss, no one's ever listened to me, or no one's ever helped me with this or that. So it's a good feeling.
Are you on parole when you get out?
Yeah, I've got so much parole.
Okay, and are they're helping you with accommodation?
Yeah.
Once an inmate's mental health condition is being managed, they're moved from the high risk to the subacute section.
That's where they're a little bit more stable, they can mix with everyone else as a normal day. They have daily nursing reviews. We try and get them then to the next stage where they can sort of be with a larger group of inmates. All good in the pod?
Yeah.
Yeah?
They're very quiet today.
They're very quiet. That's a nice change, isn't it? So we've got a couple of people on our referrals to see.
Once stable, inmates often remember all the things they need to get sorted from the outside.
We've got one here that has some issues with some property.
Yep.
So we're just going to try and sort out how we can get that delivered over to here or to his mum's house.
No problem.
I think another inmate can't access his lawyer, so just going to help him try and get in contact with his legal team.
But the biggest job of all is paving the way for an inmate's release back into the community.
Once they are out, if they don't have a good support network, family-wise, or support workers, or being in a positive environment, it can often sort of almost feel like you're setting them up to fail.
One such inmate, who has failed several times to make it on the outside, is Tristan.
I've never had a job before in my life. I'm pretty much been in and out of jail since I was 18. This is my 6th time in jail and I'm only 25. Yeah, I've done about 6 years of jail, so yeah, I've been outside of jail since I've been 18.
Tristan has a mental health condition, diagnosed in his teens, made worse by illegal drug taking.
Drugs play a big factor in the crimes that I do because I'm high on drugs, and you can go out doing crimes to get drugs, stealing cars, police pursuits and breaking and enters and that, yeah. That's what I always get charged for, aggravated breaking and enters and police chases and that, yeah.
On his arrival behind bars this time, Tristan was very unwell and put in a safe cell in the mental health screening unit.
When I first come in off the streets, and I was, because I'm overdosed and that, so yeah, I was in a good state, so they put me in a cell, yeah.
His condition is now stable, so he's progressed to the step-down unit at Silverwater.
I suffer by anxiety, depression, and yeah, so I get treated for that. I get Advanza, which helps you sleep at night.
Once again, Tristan is on a countdown to release. But before he goes anywhere, he's got some problems on the outside that need to be fixed, and that is where Rebecca comes in.
Yeah, she's a nice person, and she'll help you if you need help. So yeah, she's good to go to if you need something done or if you need help, then she'll get it done.
Coming up, she arrived as a maximum security prisoner.
I was promised $15,000 to receive this package. It turned out to be 20 kilos of ice.
But now Norma leaves the jail each day on work release.
Norma is the leading handy, so she fairly well runs the floor.
And an inmate comes clean about swallowing drugs.
I'm supposed to be on them, but like, I've got one with one of the boys, you know what I mean?
So it's 5 to 6 in the morning and we're about to let the inmates go, ready for work. We do this every morning.
Letting prisoners go takes on new meaning if you're inside the independent living wing at Dillwynia Women's Correctional Centre.
The girls are normally in their last 2 years when they come out here, ready to go home. We have a lot that have done long sentences, like we're talking 20 years. The girls could escape if they really wanted to.
The unit is low security compared to the rest of the jail because these inmates are not considered flight risks.
Yes.
Mexican national Norma is into her 4th year inside jail.
When I first came to jail, I started in maximum security, and I was classoed as a Cat 4 inmate, which is the highest risk inmate level. I've never been in trouble before. I've never even had a parking ticket.
With one fateful decision 4 years ago, Norma went from being a design student on a visa to a maximum security inmate.
I had been living in Australia for a year. I had come to study animation and to be with my partner, and I needed money so that I could pay for a partner visa. I hadn't come out as gay to my mum, so I didn't feel like I could ask my mum for help.
Then came the offer that was simply too good to be true.
I was promised $15,000 to receive this package, and that was actually the exact amount of money that I needed to cover the visa and the expenses. And it was never explicitly told to me that this package would contain drugs, but I think I was naive to think that what else could it contain? Why would you be paid $15,000 to do a simple task as receive a package? And it turned out to be 20 kilos of ice, which that was, I think, the quantity was extremely shocking to me, but the drug as well, because I didn't know what ice was before I got arrested.
Norma was found guilty of importing from Mexico $21 million worth of methamphetamine hidden in 8 music speakers. She was sentenced to 7 years in jail.
Arriving in jail for the first time, it was shocking really, because I had no expectations at all. And the only references that I had were, I guess, movies and shows. So I was really, really scared. They strip search you and they give you your green clothes and all of that. And I just wanted to be in a space where, first of all, I could have a shower, and second of all, that I could just be safe. I kind of wanted to be just locked into a room without having to be around many people that I didn't know and that, to be honest, I was afraid of.
Services and Programs Officer Rebecca is on her way to see inmate Tristan in the step-down unit at Silverwater.
So when Tristan first came in, he was quite unwell, off medication and not feeling the best. So we had him in what we call an observation or a cambered cell just to keep himself safe. And as he's progressed and he's settled quite well, come down to this area where he can sort of have a normal day's routine.
Tristan is serving a 3-year sentence for stealing cars, driving unlicensed and break and enters.
When you come in off the streets and that, and if you're not on your medication and that, so you'll sign a consent form, so they'll get you information from your doctor, so you can get put back on your medication and that, so whatever meds you're on for whatever reason.
Now that he's stable, Tristan is planning for the future.
I've got 3 kids that I have to look out for now. The 2 eldest live in Melbourne with their mother. I haven't seen them in person since 2015, but I've been speaking to them on the phone and that. Yeah, they're in school now, so I usually ring them before they go to school and speak to them and that. Last time I wasn't speaking to my kids. I was bad on the drugs, and I actually tried to kill myself when I was in the ICU, in the hospital in the ICU, because I overdosed. And yeah, but yeah, now I'm speaking to my kids, and that my mental health's a lot better. You know, I'm not as depressed than that.
Tristan will be eligible for parole in 6 months, but he's never had a job, held a driver's licence, and has no forms of ID to set up a new life.
Usually if you get out and you have to wait to get your birth certificate, it take up to 6 weeks, and it'll delay everything for when you get out. Like, you wouldn't be able to go to the bank, get your money out and stuff like that without your ID.
Hey, Tristan.
This is where Rebecca can help.
It's very hard for someone to come out of custody and sort of think, right, I'm going to get myself a place to live, because, you know, they've been in and out, they've got a record. A lot of places don't want to take the risk of taking a person like that.
Your hair looks good.
Yeah, thank you.
Put it into a plait today.
Yeah.
Yesterday I saw it was...
Finding a place to stay is just one of the support services Rebecca can assist Tristan with when he leaves jail.
Do you know where you're going?
No, I'm not sure yet. I'm still waiting for parole, so I'm trying to get a transfer.
Do you have a backup plan for if they don't approve?
If not, I'll have to go to my mum's house.
Yeah? And are you in contact with her?
Yeah.
Is she a good support for you? Yeah. Sometimes once they're in the community, that's where things sort of fall apart because everyone's stretched with their resources, and especially supported accommodation for a lot of the guys with mental health issues. They've never really been able to do themselves, you know, taking medication, things like that. So you said you're on New Start, so we'll call Centrelink. You got any debts on the outside or anything that you know of?
Yeah, over 10 grand.
Do you know you can start a work development order while you're in here?
If Tristan complies with his mental health plan, a work development order will reduce his police and court fines by $1,000 a month.
Still got a few months, so you'll get a few grand off before you get out. Yeah, so hopefully this will be the last time.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully I don't come back.
Yeah. These people have a lot of trauma there where it's not an excuse, but they do have a lot of issues to deal with. And coming into prison, often they can get the treatment here that they might not be able to receive in the community.
Justice Health will work to provide a continuity of care once Tristan leaves custody. His ongoing support will also come from a community corrections or parole officer.
I think everyone deserves a chance to be able to change their life. It's definitely not my job to give up hope that maybe that one time after 5 attempts that someone will sort of, I'll be able to help them change their life.
I grew up doing crimes and using drugs and that, but it led me nowhere. It only leads you to jail. There's only one way that it ends. Eventually you get caught and you have to do the time. My goals are to, you know, see my kids regularly, have a job and, you know, just live a normal life, yeah.
Coming up...
What's a medical emergency?
Inside the high-tech surveillance centre.
Yeah, we have a fixed duress alarm dispensary main clinic.
Caught on camera.
Everything you're doing is being recorded. We both understand?
But where's the evidence?
Okay. And then in this now.
What's your medical emergency?
The eyes and ears of every jail facility is its master control room. Hundreds of CCTV cameras, as well as a highly sensitive motion detection system, mean that not much escapes the notice of officers Frank and Stephen.
Yeah, copy. Just put it on that camera from intake.
Most inmates are allowed the privacy of no cameras inside cells.
An inmate in pod cell 567, pod 19. He says he's broken 2 of his fingers.
If there's an emergency, they can use what they call the knock-up system to communicate with officers.
The inmates have a cell call system, which we call the knock-up system. When they're locked in their cells, they can actually push the button and communicate with us up there, so we can contact our staff on the ground and organise for a nurse to go and check them out.
Taking the groundman's guys to the compacts, over.
We're monitoring the security of the jail, the perimeter, and we're also monitoring the safety of the officers with the duress alarms.
Staff are all wearing a duress button. If they push that button, we can check the cameras to roughly find out where they are.
The duress alarms will go off if the wearer so much as stumbles.
If they're in trouble, we can actually respond staff to assist them.
That's a wall alarm.
Yeah, we have a fixed duress alarm in dispensary main clinic. That was a duress alarm. On the wall there's a fixed duress, so that if one of the nurses feels threatened by the inmates, they can push that button and that will send officers responding.
The pill dispensary is a potential target at any prison for detoxing or drug-dealing inmates.
Dispensary main number 1 is still going.
In the back room where all the pills are, where they make up the pills.
Try the pills where the pills are.
6 workers with me.
Thank you, ma'am.
This time, it's a false alarm.
The number in the storeroom needs to be reset.
Yeah, receiving. Murray, I'll be over there shortly,
Yeah,
over.
that one's reset.
Thank you.
Yeah, copy that, thank you.
Someone's accidentally set it off and they realised and they just rung up.
This is not a job for a jumping officer. The motion sensors around the jail are super sensitive.
That's a sterile zone alarm just gone off. There's movement behind, and that movement is setting the sensor off. They are incredibly sensitive. If they're touched, or a shadow crosses or a bird flies, it's going to go off. See this palm tree here? That'll trigger the alarm inside the sterile zone. As the sun comes up from the other side and that shadow changes, it sets that alarm off. See, sterile zone alarm. There's that movement again outside and the shadows. So I acknowledge that that's happened and nothing untoward happening, so I reset it.
While there's no cause for alarm at Silverwater today, at Wellington, it's a different story. Officers inside Master Control have just spotted some suspicious activity in B-Pod Yard. The immediate action team is going to try catching the suspects red-handed.
We're about to conduct a targeted search on 2 inmates in back of B1 yard. So we'll spin around that way. 3 of us are going to enter through the wing, the other 3 are going to enter through the rear yard and catch them by surprise. Copy.
Gentlemen, my body worn camera's activated, so everything you're doing stays being recorded. We both understand? Yep. Copy.
The inmates are nervous, and Officer Stewart thinks he knows why.
I saw him back to the wall. The guy to put something in his pocket and then in his mouth.
His mouth?
That's what it looked like.
Young, poor and madly in love, backpacker Norma was offered $15,000 to receive a package. She wanted money to pay for a visa, but instead found herself sentenced to 7 years behind bars for importing 20 kilograms of ice.
I'm 1.5 years from my release, so you become eligible to be in a program called Works Release. That's if you've behaved and done all the right things and completed all the programs that you are required to do. It's just a normal day sort of thing. Like I wake up, get ready, go to work, spend most of my day at work, come back, exercise and then go to bed.
When Norma leaves the jail every day for the short walk to work, she has to wear a tracking device on her ankle. But she is allowed to wear civvies.
So I have 2 wardrobes and I keep all my greens in one and all my normal clothes in the other one. Because it just feels more normal, you know? When you open your wardrobe and you have all your normal clothes. I don't know, it feels nice. See him? You too.
So the girls have gone off to work now for the day. I won't see them till 4:30 this afternoon.
In New South Wales, 42% of inmates re-offend within 2 years. Programs like Work Release are designed to give inmates new skills so they have a better chance of getting a job when they get out.
I definitely load 60, 100%. Load that one for John Moroney.
Okay.
Okay?
Got it.
I'm the overseer here at CSI Logistic. We employ about 40 people, and out of those 40, anywhere up to 17 are inmate employees.
CSI stands for Corrective Services Industries, and this logistics warehouse services customers both on the inside and the outside.
Norma is the leading hand here, so she fairly well runs the floor. She gets instructions from me, and from there she gives instructions down the line.
Brooke, can you please get this corner?
Very diligent, very good at what she does, quick learner.
We're gonna reload this.
Even though life is better since moving to the independent living unit, true freedom still feels a long way off.
It's still times when to do things, you know, when to wake up, when the doors open, when the doors close. You have no control over that, so I never forget that I'm in jail. See? This is what happens when you try to cut an apple with a plastic knife.
Coming up,
This is the first time I've ever seen one of these.
a fresh catch for the immediate action team.
located a jail-made kettle.
And when it comes to correctional cuisine...
Soggy barnacle, this one, with some horse meat. Yeah, the wetness, I could squeeze some water out of that.
Improvising is the name of the game.
Joel Big Macs.
At Wellington, suspicious behaviour seen by master control cameras has led to 2 inmates being searched for contraband drugs. Officer Stewart's keen eye for detail means he misses nothing.
The guy put something in his pocket and then in his mouth. His mouth? That's what it looked like.
The new arrival panicked when he saw the officers coming.
You used? When I was on the outside,
Yeah. When was the last time you used?
About 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
What are you using when you're on the outside?
Ice.
Ice? Yeah.
Upon entering the yard, I did see one inmate rush back to the wall, pull something from his pocket and place it into his mouth. So we've done strip searches, found nothing. We're about to take him up to the body scanners and run him through the body scanners whilst our other partners are conducting a cell search.
In a past life, Officer Stewart was a butcher and has few regrets about joining corrections 5 years ago.
Yeah, look, if I'm being honest, strip searches, going back to when I was a butcher, there is no way I was thinking that I'd be looking at another bloke's testicles. Like this, you just would never, you'd never think about it. And then you come into this job and it's a part of the job. I don't know, you get used to it after a while. It's a job, you do what you have to do and that's it. Like so, because you've got the handcuffs on. Now I want you to lift your head up.
The 2 suspects are body scanned. Officers check for odd shapes inside their bodies.
We are looking for anomalies in the body, round shapes, edges, density. See that? This is why I question it. If you look at that and that, they're very similar. Then we edge it. They sort of disappear, but that one, I don't know, it's a possibility. We found what could be an anomaly in one of the fella's stomachs, so one of them will remain in a dry cell for the night and then he'll be rescanned in the morning.
In a dry cell, nothing can get flushed away.
I think we got something.
Meanwhile, a cell search might have paid off already.
A cell search has been conducted and what we've located is a couple of gloves with the fingers cut off. What they generally do with these is that's where they hide their contraband, tie them up and wrap them in multiple layers and either swallow them or secrete them elsewhere. And a fishing line. So what they do with this is when it's lock-in, they'll feed the line through the door to another cell and they'll gather their contraband that way and then reel it back in. Located a smoking implement and a spoon with a gel substance on it. And what they do there is they use their spark up kit to get a light, and the smoking implement is used to smoke substances, either bute, ice, whatever else they may have. We've also located a what appears to be a kettle. They put these 2 wires into the wall, the bag was inside of it, and it'll boil the water up, so it's a jail-made kettle. This is the first time I've ever seen one of these. Yeah, they're pretty good at what they do.
The inmate caught with this contraband faces the possibility of time added to his sentence. The second inmate, suspected of swallowing something, will spend the night in a dry cell. In New South Wales prisons, breakfast is served around 7, with lunch soon after.
So on the menu today, we've got a Devon salad roll, dried fruit and yoghurt tray, and your banana and your apple.
Soggy barnacle, this one, with some horse meat. Yeah, the wetness, I could squeeze some water out of that.
A hot, reheated main meal arrives around 2 p.m.
Dinner's on the table. Well, I don't eat the prison meals. There's no way. I feel sick after eating them. Mexican beef. Wow.
Daily nutrition requirements may be met, but most inmates improvise using items purchased at buy-ups.
I can make something out of oven. Can we put them on that we just cooked? We'll put some beetroot on there, some cheese. Sauce, and there's a hamburger.
Burgers are a crowd pleaser, and those who make them for their mates are even more popular.
It's one of the exotic meals that we have in here. you know, whatever we get, jail dinners, yeah, we'll start innovating. We're making, quality meals. And you're limited to what you can do and you can't do. Sort of mind goes to very, very creative spaces. With this, I'm taking the salad, the onions, I'm gonna mix up the burgers. While I'm fasting, I'm cooking for the boys, eh? This is one of my mate's favourite meals, so break my fast at 5:45. Joel Big Macs.
Coming up.
I want the community, when I do get released, to open up their arms and let me back in. I still want to work, I still want to get married, I still want to have kids.
How inmates plan to use their second chance.
First thing I'm going to do is take my kids out and do something nice with them. Just, try and move on from this.
Yeah.
Officer Aaron is heading up the immediate action team today at Wellington. He's being brought up to speed about an inmate who swallowed something when stopped for a targeted search.
There was something on the scan.
Yeah, whereabouts on him?
Just in the top of his stomach.
Right.
After a scan and a night in the dry cell, the inmate is ready to talk.
If he doesn't surrender it, we just hold him in the dry cell a bit longer until he changes his mind, hopefully.
As I entered the yard yesterday, it looked like you might have placed something in your mouth and swallowed it. All right, and on the scan...
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah, it was a Vanza.
A Vanza?
Yeah.
Something showed up on the scan too.
Yeah, it was wrapped in plastic. It was wrapped in a big plastic bag.
So you're not subscribed?
I'm supposed to be on them, but like, I got one of the boys, you know what I mean?
Is it still in your stomach?
No, I'm going now.
Avanza is a medication used to treat anxiety and depression.
Hands are shaking a bit. You detoxing or cold?
I just got out of bed, too.
How many tablets of Avanza was it?
Just half one. The other half was in my pocket.
Yeah.
The other half, I forgot about that there too. I'm supposed to be on them. Like I need it because I've got anxiety and that.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll probably scan you twice, see what we can see. If we're happy, we might send you back. If we're not, sit you up here for a bit longer.
Yeah.
We're going in the right direction. You told us what you actually got, but we just need to make sure you got nothing else. All right, scanning now.
So he's admitted that he took a mental health medication, Avanza.
You can get yesterday's image up.
Often people that are prescribed this medication will sell it to other inmates. Like they'll divert it and sell it. He hasn't been in very long. He says he's on the medication on the outside.
But it's against the rules, and this inmate will be penalised.
I'm just comparing it to the stored images from yesterday, and it appears what we thought was there yesterday is not there, so I'm satisfied that it was the medication he took in the plastic. It doesn't appear to be there anymore.
So you're happy that
Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's not showing anything up now, so I'm tending to believe what he said.
Yeah.
It was only half a tablet of Avanza. Can't see anything in the scans now, so I'm happy if we see
I've been
him.
knowing this inmate for a while. He is usually pretty straight up with us, so...
Yeah. He
I'm
could have
happy
saved
if you guys
himself a night in the dry cell if he was straight up yesterday.
Yeah, that's true.
Should have been straight up yesterday and said what you had.
I still haven't improved my script yet, that's all.
Oh, yeah, well, probably better off being straight up than spending the night up there, I guess.
Yeah.
So this does actually happen quite a bit with fresh custody inmates that come in. You know, there's obviously a need, a craving for something, and they'll do whatever they can to get it, just the same as drugs. Job done.
One of the privileges of living in the independent living unit is that Norma can make a 6-minute video call each day.
So I'm about to call my mum, who lives in Mexico, and I try and call her almost every day. She just wants to know, like, that I'm okay, even though she knows exactly where I am and what I'm doing. Bueno. Hola.
Hola, hija, ¿cómo estás?
Bien, ¿y tú?
And there's some good news about artwork Norma recently sent home.
Que es bueno.
Abrí una galería de arte. ¿Quieres poner tu arte?
Oh, ¿quién es? ¿Quién es esa mujer? No me acuerdo de ella, pero...
La que
She was just telling me this woman contacted her because I had submitted my artwork for an auction a couple of years ago, actually. And she wanted to find me because she wants to exhibit more of my stuff. Wow, sí, súper bien. Ok, muy bien. Bueno, te marco después, ¿ok? Ok, te quiero, bye. Basically, I'm gonna have an art exhibition in Mexico from jail. It's really, really good news. It is, I guess, some of the best news that I've had in jail. I'm really excited for my future. I want to be a full-time artist when I get out. I feel like now I have something to say, you know? I have thought about a lot of big concepts and big ideas about life. And maybe I wouldn't have seen that if I hadn't gone through all of this. So when I get released, I'm gonna be deported back to Mexico, and potentially I won't be allowed back into Australia. It's a little bit heartbreaking. I will always remember Australia, and if I ever get the chance to come back, I would love to.
Coming up.
You're frustrated by inmates coming back in.
All right, fellas, good luck.
Wisdom gained from doing time.
I like to think that they've got a really good shot to make it out there and to, you know, be better people than when they came in.
It's about time I sort of wake up to myself and sort of be a bigger man and a better person and say, yep.
Australia Behind Bars has walked the corridors of 3 maximum security prisons for the past 10 weeks. In that time, 302 new inmates arrived at Wellington and 241 at Dillwynia. An equal number left.
Don't come back. I won't.
At Silverwater, more than 1,000 fresh custodies spent their first night behind bars. In 10 weeks, the bakery has turned out 160,000 pies, 90,000 apple danishes and 50,000 loaves of bread. And Barry's not the only one who's been busy at Wellington. The immediate action team led 250 operations, from cell searches, strip searches to body scans. Of those leaving jail, close to half will be back within 2 years of release.
You're frustrated by inmates coming back in.
All right, fellas, good luck.
You just see them go out the gate and they go, oh yeah, no, I'm done. And they're going out there looking healthy, fit, strong.
Thank you.
Don't come back.
No, thank you.
And then whether it's days, weeks, months.
Geez, you're a sight for sore eyes. How you? What are you doing, mate?
Oh, fucked up, Chief.
They come back through the door looking horrible. Just think, oh, here we go again, mate.
Every inmate filmed is looking for a clean and better life when they leave jail. And their minders wish them the same.
Inmates are given a lot of opportunity in correctional centres to better themselves and get a career even. They can do an apprenticeship up at the bakery or an apprenticeship in the print unit. It's not the old stack and rack days anymore where inmates came to jail, they went out in the backyard for 6 hours and they got locked away.
Not only have jobs behind bars given inmates a skill, it's generated $28 million of revenue.
Send them down.
I think with corrections today, they're trying to reduce the recidivism, and that's probably something that the community is shocked at as to how much opportunity these guys have got inside. Be that programs, working in the bakery, getting paid.
I like to think that they've got a really good shot, that we've given them the skills that they need to make it out there and to, you know, be better people than when they came in.
During filming, 212 inmates at Wellington and 50 at Dillwynia participated in rehabilitation programs.
We try everything we can to make it right for them in here, but it's what they do when they get outside and when they go home.
For those inmates who genuinely want to start afresh, they ask the community to give them a fair go.
I want the community, when I do get released, for the community to open up their arms and let me back in. I want a second chance with my friends and my family. I still want to work, I still want to get married, I still want to have kids. I hope this isn't going to be a big burden in my life.
Just try not to judge, you know, a book by its cover, and just try to, I don't know, spare us 5 minutes of your time and hear us out, because we're not all bad.
You know, we're humans at the end of the day. We've committed a crime. And once we've served our time, I believe that we should be given a second chance to prove ourselves.
We bring all of them in, all the visitors.
That second chance starts with family and support systems waiting outside.
If you've got your family and you've got those really strong relationships, you are less likely to come back. It's a fact.
First thing I'm gonna do is take my kids out and do something nice with them. I'm gonna ask away for a weekend with them, but then settle, do some more studying, get a stable job, build a home for me and the kids again, and just, yeah, try and move on from this.
Yeah. When I leave here, got to find a new place to live, a new job, and that's going to be hard now that I've got the record. Just want to try and make myself a better person for my kids when I get outside. Just by letting my kids down like that, it really cuts. Yeah, my boys are everything all right. Yep. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. They're my life. I love them. Like, they're all I've got left. All I've got left.
These guys that are coming in for a 3-month stint and going back out and 3-month stint and going back out, these are the guys that we need to stop and get them jobs and get them back on their feet and break that cycle. They're the guys that we need to really push and help.
It's about time I sort of wake up to myself and sort of stop coming to jail and sort of be a bigger man and a better person and stay out.
So far away, I was doing time. So many brothers from back home.
If I can stay out of jail for over 6 months, I'm doing good. You know what I mean? I can't predict what's going to happen in the future, but in my head, I'm trying my best to stay out of jail.
Running wild and free. Running wild and free. Running wild and free.